Madame Odé Maribette, Benjo Charlotte. I will say, je sais cosmétique, je les ai pour Elodie, la blanche. My darling, I love you. Hey, mi querida, te quiero. Sí, c'est-à-dire, j'ai ton amour dans mon cœur. C'est-à-dire, j'ai ton amour dans mon cœur. J'ai ton amour. Oh,
All right, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us here at Alfonso Z and Sot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. In tonight's editions of LPR-TV Live with the panelists, we want to welcome you. Thank you so much. This is how we want to begin the program here this evening. This is the first time on this network. We say good evening and you are wholeheartedly welcome. This is the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio. Let's do a little bit quick housekeeping here and acknowledge our good folks here, whether this is the first time. All of our followers here, we say thank you so much for coming. AB Dennis Favor, Christian and Kenan Zilit, Lion, Tail Lion, Yakon. That's our guy right there in the oil area there in May West there. Good evening to Yaman. Thank you so much. Jacqueline, thank you for chipping in here. Pascal, to Mary, and of course, our own Louis Massaquet is LPR national correspondent, also with Big FM in the nation's capital of Monrovia. Out of the morning hour. Louis, thank you for all what you do for our country, for the network and its people. And of course, the guy that I consider as I don't know, he's drinking local Z or whatever he's taking, Christopher Tobasi, Christopher Rotti. So that has edition 24/7, hitting the net airwaves. Chris, good evening. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm not sure the general, Mounir Keshen, something developed. He was to be here with means. As a matter of fact, the program was slated. Fatuman, thank you so much for coming in. Good morning, good evening. I'm not sure precisely your location. And of course, Tom got enough. So Marvin, new one. Thank you so much. So the general, hopefully he will be joining us here. If time permits, things happen to America here is sometimes you plan and things go on the contrary. So it's nothing big. The analysts, hopefully they're going to be here. Janito, thank you so much. Understand, quite a long time. Thank you. Good evening for coming. So we're going to be having a program here this evening. And let me make sure my phone, the calling number, everything is here as well. Okay, it's right here. So we're going to be having this number posted here for us to have conversations. A lot is ongoing in Liberia. Thank God the Liberal is not in charge here tonight because we've got to let people to speak their mind, whether we disagree with them as well. I am Alfonso Z and Sot of the Liberia Public Radio 10 LPR TV. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. I am Alfonso Z and so right here in the East Coast from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Thank you for sharing your mornings, your evenings, your afternoon, depending on your location, wherever you are. We say thank you for being here. And we are glad to see you because it is for you. We always see it. I don't care how exhausted, tired we are. This is something we sign up for to do, to have this sort of news content sharing to whatever we have. We bring it, and you also, your interaction, to your comments, your engagements on the live view also is a rewarding to one. So that also benefit us. So trust me, we learned a lot. The agreement, the disagreement, people expressing their political view. Some exercise intolerance. Some people, the little thing gets under their skin. That is okay. What we do know is a high level of civility always on this network. And perhaps it's just how the moderators conduct themselves, because if you are moderating, if you're serving as an angle as well, you must have tolerance. You don't expect 200, 150% coming on your live view to agree with you. Then that is just not the actual reality. Yeah, because these people are people from different sides, different political spectrums. They will not agree with your talking point. They will not like your talking point. So they have the right, proportionally, to respond, to express, since they are not sitting behind the microphone. Now, everyone likes to call in, but they can write their comments, their agreements and disagreements. So we do understand that as well. I'm not like the liberal who wants to listen to certain people and he does not want to get the other side of the coin. So I'm not sure why mixing liberal, because that's not the behavior. Traditionally, that's not the behavior of people who are liberal. But he comes and he imposes himself on the people, and all he wants people should praise him. This sort of Donald Trump style way of doing things. Yet he claimed to be the liberal. He claimed to champion the voices of the people. That's quite very difficult to understand. So we here, you have the right to make judgments of what I'm saying. Does that make it true? Absolutely not. I must be honest and just sincere with you. So you have the absolute right to express your view, your opinion. That's your country. It is our country. So no one has the dominion, that sort of absolute power. I say it and it must be in black and white. No, then you're just not being real. You're just not being honest. We have to accommodate these diversities, the diverse views of society. And society has evolved. That's the beauty of democracy. Except some goes to the extreme, and then take it on the other side. But even at that, if you choose to be an anchor, to be a presenter of a news outlet, understand that everybody will not be in agreement with you. How many persons make sense of that? And then, unless somebody is going against, every institutions have their policy. For example, insulting and using some profanity that would be uncomfortable with other people, then of course, that's when you're going to see me to throw my finger right on the other side of outlet that I'm looking, because that's not the purpose of this network. LPR is not being a public network. Does not necessarily suggest it must be treated as a public, platform where people can. We have our own set rule in order to maintain the integrity of this network. But there are some folks here who try to deal with them. Even some of the anchor, the presenter, they don't want to take certain calls. Certain people are cut short in their expression. That's not how it's supposed to be. We must take charge of what we do. Somebody might place a phone call here and we have a disagreement with me because perhaps what I'm saying is not being well comprehended. So it needs further explanation. Should I get upset because that person didn't agree with me? And you see, sometimes viewers cut the person, oh, that person talking nonsense. That he this person, he that person. We can't do that. I can't do that. This is where the tolerance comes in. And this is where it is lacking within our political space, not just on it, the viewers or the citizenry, the politicians themselves. Very impatient, intolerant, very sensitive to other people. It's quick to get offended. A little small thing, it gets under their skin and they are distracted. We should not be doing that. If we sit over this network, we must set that sort of barriers. We must create that comfort that people that are coming to listen, not that they are bored or they don't have anything to do, but it's a learning process. We learn from you guys learn from us. Not that we are the best that can do it. If you just have the time, you just don't have the time. There are others who take this to be a profession. There are others who take it as an entertainment. That way it becomes a little bit dicey. It becomes entertainment, and when it becomes a network that is so purposeful to drive a certain agenda, then get ready to embrace that, because their talking point will be moving in that direction. especially when they establish their true identity, who they are, what they represent, what their talking points are going to be there, then get ready. You know, in come, they have what they call like a public speaking. There are certain places you go, you have to be effective communicator. You live in America, you go in your village, people there, then you start with your BB words. The essence of communication is for people to understand what you are saying. So if you miss that mark, then your goal is not achieved. It is not achieved. So we have to learn that. We have to learn that. So depending which network it goes to, they have their own talking point. They know what they are saying. They have their own motive. They are saying the thing they are saying. And a force who, because of the involvement of societies, modern technology, different types of software can twist things around in any form, in any context, unless you are okram or you are informed with that. And the sort of propagandas, the messaging aspect, and all of that, people can reconstruct a scenario, a scene, and give it a good look. And people look at what is happening practically in real-time world, and you want to make a judgment. Yes, I see. But we gotta be very careful these informations that we receive, how it's been processed, and how we act on it. Remember that Kigali, Radio Kigali? One man sat on the network and tore the whole country into flame. So the media, be it electronic or print media, is powerful. It's like a radiation. So your voice go over, spread it. You receive it here, other people go. They are not going to say exactly what you say. They will over it. And they go like a wildfire and they burst into flame. So Liberia Public Radio stands in the middle of that to breach that sort of falsehoods, subliminal messages, innuendos, this sort of entertainment that have been inserted into the media industry, which is a challenge. So, okay, yeah, all right, good. Yeah, that's fine. Keshen, you can come in. The analyst is going to be here asking here, So, guys, just bear with me. Let me just bear with me. Just bear with me. General, he always on time, but when you get this country here, it's an equalizer. When you have there's some this community initiative, our own analyst, Amos Joyce, is also this community initiative. So when people have something to do to attend to their families as well, especially the case when they gotta go to school, you won't care then they're ready now. Daddy, that's not fair. I'm crazy when I was small to tell Johnny Zian, so Daddy, that's not fair. That 25 latches they're going to give me. Trust me. You go tell your mama, can't give me they say, no, Daddy, that's not fair. Okay. Amos George is here. The general is here. So it's better late than never. You guys may be familiar with this guy. I don't know whether he's a civilian general or he's a political general or what sort of general he is. He hoped to establish that true identity. Some call him General. I call him Mounir Keshen. The guy. I thought I love being on live view, but he beat my time. So we intend to have these national conversation to get a sense of people. People pick their side. I don't know why when people pick side, other people get mad with them. Why are you with these people? Why I cannot be with them? Why she cannot be with that? But this guy is one of the persons that I've listened to, very vocal. He doesn't hold back. I don't know, sometimes I guess here folks can clash and all of that. I intend to have this sort of exclusive press, but something happened. But he will be sandwiched by the analysts of the Liberia Public Radio, who also represent a different political spectrum. That's the beauty of this network. They are all here. So I'm going to be breaking it in, but I would have some real-time engagement, and then at some point in time, they're going to be there. So they're going to ask that question on this network, we are equal. Everybody, no special person here. They are paying in the net. Let me go to Atlanta, Georgia. Amos George is a senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. There you see it. Mr. George, Leonard George, good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. So, and how you doing?
Oh, we give God the glory. God money us here little by little.
Thank God.
And in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as a look what you Pat George, you know when power is in your hand, you walk like A, you talk like A, your everything is man as well. Hey, when men know you, know your friend black man. So Terry Collins here is based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Is a senior political commentator here, and he supports the candidacy now president-elect Ambassador Joseph Newman Boakai is based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You see your guy? You see the court? Mason?
Mr. So, power can make you heavy, you know.
I said, you know,
Jim
people don't know.
Power can make you heavy.
It's a turning point in people's life. You know, if people want power, they don't know why it is. When you have that authority, when you gain self-control of yourself, that sort of confidence, where you can just walk in any provision or a store or department, and all you do, you just throw your hand like there, your guys, you know, they put in your grape or whatever in your head, and you're bringing those envelopes. They don't know how great it is. Tara, good evening. The general will be here with us. We thought to get into people's mind because there are people still here to overcome what is happening after the aftermath of the elections. It's huge. So we do this to kind of like free therapist style. So AKA the general, Mounir Keshen, he just went out. He's going to be here to all our folks. Thank you so much, Fidel George, you here, Jim David, and all of these great people. Chucky. We are countrymen. You know, people are so creative. You know, I try to sort of do those to emulate or imitate, you know, those sort of factioning. Sometimes we'll put 2, 3, 4 names, but it would be so good. Oh my goodness. I hope the old man will come here this evening, my good. Yeah, I don't want, when he's off this place here, we can always have a decent conversation. But when he comes, Terry, do you believe, let's digress here a little bit. Do you believe this? Something told me, is he a real liberal? His way of doing things?
Well, I think his temperament is a choleric as temperamental. The temperament of a choleric are people who are mostly domineering. So when you observe those kind of people, it's their temperament. They can't change. It's just who they are. The only thing is that those temperaments have weaknesses and have strength. So the ability to manage your weaknesses, you have to observe that. But yeah, the liberal, he got his own style.
I know sometimes, you know, it's hard to. Yeah, I know sometimes it can be hard for you to talk. Our man say, man can't talk, or you can't want to talk. But look at the kind of tabata he was on last night. You listened to him last night?
Yeah, I was listening to him.
Yeah,
I took my daughter at the basketball gym. I was listening to him a little bit. I even partook in the show. I called in.
Yeah.
But I tried to, some 2 women came on, they didn't play with me. I tried to call back, Liberal denied me. So
you see him? That's who he is. Amos Joy. That's who the
I tried to call back to defend myself. Liberal denied me.
You wouldn't do it.
So
he wouldn't do it. And when he comes, he will give justification for his action. Amos George, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. So, and good evening, Terry. How you doing?
Okay.
Welcome, man. Good evening. Happy Friday.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so guys, we're here this evening. As usual, we want to take on to what is happening. Too much is still ongoing. We have to discuss it. You remember here when we were on here, it was the day before yesterday, I said, oh, getting news, and we're trying to hold on. Because there are some news, when people, sometimes we on this live view, people sending things, and now everything comes to you is legit. You know, you got to verify. I'm not that sort of somebody with this sort of syndrome of breaking you. No, you send it, even if I know you, I have to do 1 or 2, touch 2 bases to make sure. which of course it was good. There are some other pieces left there, but we are not the one to confirm that. So it is what we did. Okay, guys, let's see here. We're going to do an open mic here this evening until the general can come. Hopefully, we can do that here. But before we do that here, as you know, like LPR is a news outlet, not just only to Liberia, even though predominantly all of our conversations are discussed, but I monitor a lot of major cable network. You guys know what's been going on this early morning in Guinea-Bissau?
Yeah.
So if you tell us,
Oh yes,
I
special
was
forces.
monitoring VOA yesterday. I played VOA yesterday.
Yeah, special forces and how you call them, whatever guy, special forces are those protecting the president and other people. You know, the cool thing here is just all over the place. Okay, the general is here, I believe his position. So let me just bring him in. And General, just bear with us. You're going to be sandwiched, of course. These are your own people. You know the back microphone as well. And we're going to be having a conversation here to get his take because this guy, he was heavily involved. Let me go to the Pepper City of New Jersey. Don't pour pepper in our eye here this evening. There you see him, the General Mounir Keshen.
Thank you.
Is here. You saw the question I asked. I don't know whether it was right. How long can he go? Don't mind me. Sometimes I can just ask you sort of a question because I see the resilience, the relentlessness in you to drive this here, something here. So, but General, good to have you back in the States. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you, man. Happy to be back home. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. So
Okay,
audible.
yeah. And happy to see everyone. I've been following the show. Sometimes I don't comment. I just look and just look at the argument. But it's good to be back home after 2 months and going around the country and doing my own assessment because come 2029, it's going to be tough. I can tell you that. But I got long to go until the Omega can take my breath away. They will continue to see this face. We'll continue to speak for the Liberian people. It's not about us anymore. And maybe we might see it, maybe we might not get there. But when you're in these kind of things, you don't worry about yourself. You worry about the people you're talking for. So it's not about me. It's about the people. We need to serve our people and we need to be on the ground. We can't do it from this end. All the Facebook thing is nothing. Even to listen to radio in Liberia is hard. But it's good to be back. For my experience so far, everything was okay. Yes, I'm disappointed because I never won, but it gave me different way of looking at things, and it just motivated me more. I always say that I'd rather lose graciously than to just win because I want to win. No. So we still going to continue, and I respect the Liberian people for that. But so far, thanks for bringing me. Everybody been calling me on the show. Well, when it comes to you, I can't tell you no. People been inviting me, come this way. I said no, I got to rest.
What do I
But
want to do? What do I want to do? Don't mind that. Come somewhere where you're going to have a conversation. Okay, General, thank you. Of course, Amos Joyce is our analyst. It was meant to have like an hour exclusive.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I was just telling the audience, I mean, things happen here. When our kids, especially when it comes to the kids, you can't turn there because you don't want them to
Yep.
talk to daddy. It's not fair.
Yep.
So the guys, Terry is here. Is based in Minnesota, of course. Amos George here. So let's get the ball rolling. Time has fast spent. I might be repetitive in some of these questions. This is not your first time to be on this network yet. Let me ask you: are you a sympathizer of Alexander Cummings, or are you an ANC member? What is your identity with respect to Cummings and ANC, CPP, all of that?
Okay, for the last 5 years, I was a sympathizer. But when I went to Liberia to do my registration, I actually registered with ANC as a member. For the first time in my life, I registered with a political party because sitting on the fence, it makes no difference. People already think that I'm a member of the party, but I will want to do something tomorrow. I don't want anyone telling me, oh, you're just a common sympathizer, but I am a member of ANC. And they got different stages, and I'm a member too because I got my ID, everything. I registered when I went home. I never registered with a group yet. I was just a sympathizer, but now I consider myself as a member of the ANC.
Yes.
So whatever the ANC does, I'm part of it.
Okay, so Initially, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, but just bring me to the spot just in case if I'm going off track here. I start following you, and most of your talking point was all about Alexander Benedict Cummings, correct?
Yes.
How this whole comment business came into your something that aligned with your own political ideologies. Why Cummings? You have a lot of folks who were all part of this in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evenings. You're on. How coming? Was he the one that asked you to do it, or where this
Uh,
whole thing came from?
okay. Thanks. That's a very good question. And the good thing about it, nobody brought me to LS Comics. I, I am a George. We are friends from the IE days and 2005. Joshua invited me. In fact, the late Jones Blamo, he they sent him to call me, he and his wife. And I went to him and he said I should help because I'm into this photographing and video thing. So I decided to help, but it was on a friendship basis. So I was not even a member of the ANC, but he and myself are just a friends. But then I noticed 2005, Joshua is not the kind of person that would listen, but we had a friendship and we just kept it that way. 2011, it was there. And we also encouraged him to go as senator, which he did. We wanted him to use the senatorial position to show to the Liberian people that he can make it. But it was Joshua was not the kind of person that you think that you know today, because he had a lot of good ideas. He talked about the tenure of the president. He was concerned about the Liberian people, how they're going through hell, why things are not working. So I said, wow, this guy, forget about the degree. We can help him. So we started to come around, do the pictures, do the video, edit, put it out there. But things were fine until when he became senator. That's where I realized that, I think this guy is the wrong guy for this whole job. And then he started doing his own thing. They started arguing about money. He was in Abuja, and then everything just. So he's not calling you again. When you call him, he on different stuff. So I just decided to say, you know what? Fuck about Liberian politics.
So
2017 election, yeah.
hold on 1 second. I'm not gonna. I've not had the privilege. He's one of the persons I really wanted to interview, but it is why it is. When you see people close up their people to be more protected. Yeah, and I'm not gonna indict him here why he's not here. So you're here, so all of the kitchen sink gonna be coming to you. You did everything during videography and all of that. He became senator. Is it because you were saying called into the picture? Is that what you're understanding? He doing all kinds of things, which of course I don't know yet. Was that a reason or what?
No, we never even had the agreement whether he was going to bring me in. In fact, President Weah invited me in 2005 to go to Liberia. The army were going to transport me. And I would say this, his wife was there. Timothy was there. At that time, Timothy was a little boy. He spoke to my wife. And I told him, no, I can't go to Liberia because I just got married and my wife had a child. He spoke to my wife. I said, oh, no, let's go. I said, no, I can't go. He said, why? I said, George, I said, Ambassador, I don't call him George. I said, Ambassador, you don't listen. I'm not going to Liberia just to be doing your pictures. And I will tell you, if his wife was here today, she said, yes, George, he's right. And I never went to Liberia that whole 2005. I went there after the election. I went for my brother's wedding. We came back. President Weah and myself flew the same flight and Bellevue to Monrovia, and I was lucky to put me in VIP that day. I said, oh, I'm going to have a conversation with Mr. Weah. I said, what next after Ellen Johnson? And there was no more conversation. We stopped in Ghana. I went by my business. He went by his business. He sent for me for his graduation. I went there. And, everything was fine. So there was no agreement between President Weah whether he would bring me in, because I was not really thinking about it. So I was not part of the ANC, the CPP thing. So I was not in that group campaigning. So the whole 2005, 2011, I never campaigned. It was just a relationship between he and myself on the phone for 1 hour, 2 hours. My man, come out to Florida, do this for me, and call this other person. So that was the relationship. So there was no agreement that if I win, you're going to come in.
During those exchange telephone call flying, there was nothing of political hate. This is what I need to do.
It was not, but it was something I was just doing for him because Joshua loved video and pictures. So when he will send his games from, because you know in Europe they use PAL and they get NTSC.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
will transfer it and I will go to the program. After speaking, I will edit the speech and give it to him. You know, you got to take all the little things. So I started to follow him. And when I get it, they'll give me place to sleep. It's not that it was on to say pay me. It was everything I was doing volunteer, because I love George Weah because of football. So I had this guy, we were talking, and you know, we were talking the night. He would come for Loons Iron Barrow game. We all sit, but there was nothing. I was not into the politics. So I believe that going to Liberia, I'm the kind of person who want to talk, but that option was not given to me. So I said, you know what? Let me just back off
When you
and
say it
watch
was
what's
not,
going to happen.
when you say it was not going to given to you, what do you mean?
Okay, because I told him that if I go to Liberia during the campaign, I'm not just going to be a photographer behind you. I want to go out and campaign, and you want to. But what I started to notice that the time, President Weah never respected time. All the programs I went to, people came from places to meet him, and he overlooked them. Christopher Neal, people came from Maryland. They will have this, and they want to talk to him. Then he will send Samet Twer. While we telling him, said, "My man, you got to go. You got to go." But he overlooked the whole thing, and so I just look and say, "Well, this guy." Anyway, let's just keep the friendship going. And then he became senator, and that was it. After he became senator, I said, let me see what President we are. But this entire senatorial and job, that's when I noticed. I said, no, President, we are not ready for this thing yet. So I just took my hand. The only thing, hello, or he would not call. And then 2017, he called. He sent Rodney C. Rodney C. is not a journalist, one of his close associates. I said, let's don't worry. I said, President, we got my number. I said, George, we got my number. There's no way I can give my number to you. He called me that morning and he said, my man, election is getting ready to start. I want you to come to Liberia, or we're going to do this. Any pictures you got, bring it. So I told him that, Mr. President, I said, Ambassador, I'm disappointed. So I thought he was going to have the conversation. When I said I'm disappointed, he said, oh, I'm at the airport. And that was it. And never call again.
So,
And then my brother called and other people called, try to convince me. I said, no, I'm out of it. I'm not going to be part of anything.
so from what I'm understanding, there was no second chance conversation created by him to say whether
Yeah.
people can give people second chances in life.
Yeah.
Nothing like that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. So, and I was not prepared, because you see, Zion, if I'm going to campaign for you, I should have a relationship with you. I'm not one of those guys who will sit in a room with you and you alone make the decision. No. So that is what I was looking at. I said, well, if you can't listen to me, because I said I'm disappointed. He said, on what? I said, your job in the Senate. Oh, I will call you. To my living God, and that was it. And he myself never ever spoke. Only people who knew us, people from the CDC, my man, you got to come over. And then I decided not to be bothered with no politician. I was invited to Bernard Ure campaign team. I said no. When I went the first day, I said, no, man, I can't do it. Even up to Prince Johnson, someone invited me to Prince Johnson group. I said, what? Forget it. So I started doing my own research. And then I came across Cummings. I said, wow, look at this. I said, look at this guy. I said, but nobody know him. And the first thing I said, wow, this guy got everything. So I started still looking. I said, you know what? I will support this man. Magnus Kiase invited me to ANC meeting. I never showed up. The whole of 2017, I never attended no ANC gathering. Never. The whole of 2017. That's when I opened up. When I opened my first Facebook page, and I just came out that day on video, and I say, as of today's date, I'm going to support Mr. Cummings for president. And I start getting all the hits. Oh my man, you know Josh Weah. Yeah, what are you doing behind Mr. Cummings? I never met Mr. Cummings one day. And I just started doing my own thing for the entire 2017. I met Mr. Cummings for the first time in 2019. That when I ever on a Zoom when they invited me. But nobody invited me to Mr. Cummings. Yeah.
All the things you were doing there without his consent. It was just out of admiration.
Yes, out of his concern. No one from no one asked me.
Amos George, I mean, anybody can pop in as well. I'm not gonna have you guys to be like a United Nations observers. You're capable of asking good questions. So I don't when you see me running ahead of my shadow, just cut me off and you can ask question. Okay. So 2017, you campaigning for, oh my goodness, this is not what I expected. What is he doing here? What is he doing here? He's not invited. Mr. Toll, how are you, the liberal?
Mr. So, I'm doing excellent, excellent.
How you want to call it excellent? What? How many excellent you got to call? Hey, you're doing excellent. Yay, excellent, excellent.
So I'm glad that you listen to the general. And when I sit here, you and this central right conservative, when I sit on here and say I admire Ambassador Bakai, you guys try to poke fun at me, try to laugh when you and the central right. You just heard the general. To admire somebody, you don't have to meet them, you don't have to know them, but you have done your own research, you have done some sort of information gathering on that person, and there are certain instances or certain information that you got that perhaps induce you to be an admirer of this person. I don't have to be a unity party, and you just heard it.
Okay, all right. All right. If somebody got a device on or getting some sort of feedback, I'm quite sure if somebody listening to something, they gotta somebody you gotta call it down. If there's a device on, you know.
I say I hear it, but I don't know.
Yeah. So let's you know, we're doing our own thing here, Jeff. I was not judge. Okay. So did I hear you saying you campaigned for Mr. Cummings 2017 or no?
The entire 2017, I campaigned for Alex Cummings, and then I got in contact with a group in Pinsville. They came on my page at that time, and they asked me, and I contributed, I think, $200 for T-shirts. But I never attended no ANC function in America at the time. And Magnus Kiaser, they were in control. They invited me. I never showed up. I was just a one-man thing, doing my own thing around. And that was it.
Do you remember the first time meeting Cummings? You caught a year, and how was it like?
Okay, it was this guy they called Nyan Bowman. Everybody was following me, and Yan called me. He said, "My man, I want you to come over to the ANC. I want to put you in. I'm inviting you to come over in the communication group." So he said he talked to me. I said, okay, no problem. And when he invited me that time, it was in 2019. That's when Mr. Cummings came on the Zoom. But before that Zoom meeting, Yasini, John Mawolo, and other people were trying to bring me in, but I was still out of my, preaching. Oh, I don't want to be part of them. I want to be part of them. But then Yasini said that she will call Mr. Cummings. So I said, okay. They said they gave me Cummings' number. I said, but I'm not going to call Mr. Cummings until you guys call him and said that Mr. Keshen will be calling you. So because I don't want to call for someone to ask me who's this. So it never worked up until and it was New Year 2019. The New Year of 2019, yes. And then I said, you know what? I got this number, and let me just text the number and see something if this number actually working. So I just said, Happy New Year. I wish you the best. And then when I look, the person reply and say, oh, thank you very much. May I know who I'm speaking with? I said, my name is Mounir Keshen. And then when I look, in 10 minutes, the phone rang. Then he said, oh, I said, Mounir. He said, oh, how? He said, I think I know this name. He said, I watch your show sometime. I said, oh, for true, I'm surprised that you watch my show. He said, yes. And then we just spoke for like 10 minutes. He said, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Then before Yan called me, so when Yan called me on the Zoom, when they all were on the Zoom and Mr. Cummings started to introduce and speak to people, he said, Mounir, what's up? So everybody was concerned. Said, oh, I thought you said you don't know Mr. Cummings. I said, well, you guys wasted time. So nobody got the glory who really introduced me to Mr. Cummings. So right there, we started talking, and the had Yan Bowman and other people put me into the communication committee, and we started having meeting. And I talked to Mr. Cummings. I said, listen, I know more than I know about you than you know about yourself. We started laughing. And because I did my research, because I had to get those notes, I started to explain the country he lived in, where he worked, and all kinds of things. And he said, listen, I watch you. He said, my wife and myself will follow you, but not. And I was it. I never wanted to send him message. I said, oh, Mr. Comey, I want to talk to you. Nope. I just make that one call, and that was it.
Okay, so let's push your trust on this conversation to get to the main character.
Mr. Father, I have 1 or 2 points to the general, please. And that is...
Yeah, after the liberal system, come in, Terry. Yeah, go ahead, liberal.
Good information. We appreciate it. But I have 2 questions for you.
Yes, sir.
The first one is, how and what happened with you guys at Hamilton to be so overshadowed in terms of vote gathering and what have you? And then the second question, is there any regret the fact that you people did not go second to Ambassador Buckeye? Do you regret that decision right now?
And I can't say I regret the decision. I can tell you no. It hurts me because we expected us. I believe all the time that it was between us and Mr. Bwaka, and which I still believe. If I sit here and tell you that the election was free and fair, I'll be making mockery out of myself. I was there, and I've been saying it every day that NEC is filled with UP, and then CDC added their own. So whatever they did in our place is up to them, because it is impossible that you would tell me that Alex Cummings they will have a voting in this room and one person will vote for him or nobody vote for him. It is impossible. I know what I saw there and I know what I did. The Appleton is a member of UP. He was a member of the ANC Global. Appleton, whatever they did, and I can tell you, Appleton never voted in Liberia. He was not in Liberia. He registered his party. The last conversation with Appleton that I saw, in fact, Elon Munger showed me the comment. It was in August. He also met with Mr. Cummings, so he decided to form his party. So whatever they did to put Mr. Appleton in a third place, they played the cards well. They did it well. But I will tell you, and I still challenge anybody, if you think you ever voted for Appleton, put your hands up. That's the question we're asking Liberia. We want to see the group coming around to say this is an Appleton supporter. So whatever they did, man, I don't want to start to talk about cheating, not cheating, but I know we did everything. Yes, we fall short. UP was good at their ground game. The messages they carry around work with the Liberian people. That Mr. Cummings deliberately refused to be part of Mr. Bwaka. That was the #1 news. Everywhere I went, they asked that question. And another news that they went with in Banga and in Magibi and Grand Bassa County. Oh, you know, we can't support Mr. Cummings because he's a gay. And they work on it. It was perfect. The 2 weeks that we campaigned for, it was lit. There's nothing we could have done. We make the story, explain, people say, wow, for true. But in Liberia, everybody believed that Mr. Bwaka begged Mr. Cummings to go as his VP, and Mr. Cummings said no. And we all know it never happened. And I can put my life on the line. It never happened. Mr. Bwaka never asked Mr. Cummings one day. And they played it. And it worked with Liberian people. So people made up their minds. Some people say, well, we're not even in the race. We slow, and in fact, this is not our time. All kinds of things. So I'm not regretting. The Liberian people, I still respect them for what they did. For them, the action, they want to go back. They want to go back to the past. It's good for them. That's their right. That's the beauty of democracy. You might not agree with the people, but what the people say, we got to accept it. But still, I would not feel discouraged that, oh, I would turn against the Liberian people. They're not sensible enough. No. The Liberian people did something that if you're a ruling party, we can remove you anytime if you don't do the work. So right now, the ball is in Mr. Bwaka court. So okay. I hope everything worked fine. But I have no regret. Mr. Cummings have been vindicated. And that's it.
Let me take out your Mambutu Sisi higher. You're getting serious. Hold on 1 second. Let Terry come because I got to bombard it. After Terry, then you will come.
I'm coming for that hat. Put it back on.
Something, please. Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Keshen, thank you for being our guest tonight.
Thank you, my brother.
I know you don't know me too well, but I follow you and I saw your work during the period of time. But I guess I'm going to ask some questions. I hope you don't get upset.
Any question you want to ask, but I can't tell you about my wife, that's all.
Well, the first question would be, our do you believe that the Liberian people rejected Mr. Cummings? And if so, why? Or if not, why you think they didn't? Number two question would be, do you believe that you guys did everything well to win these elections, or do you believe that there was some deficiencies that needed to be tackled or worked on, and you guys did not really notice those deficiencies until after the elections? And my last question would be, do you think that Mr. Cummings can make a comeback, or from all indications, you think that it's not possible for him to make a comeback in 2029?
Okay, thank you. The first one, let me be honest with you. On the ground, everything we're doing on Facebook, the people that were on the ground never did the work. We were lacking a lot of stuff. We're not resonating to the people. The people that are around Mr. Cummings, I will blame Mr. Cummings, like he said, he would take the responsibility. Because I always told them and told him that never allow your surroundings to be your eyes and your ears when you're in Liberia, because people will give you false information. And they never did the work. We fought short. We went on the ground. We visited places. And I personally get to know that there was nothing done. People were only going around taking names. And so they fought short. No mobilization. The press, the communication team. Forget about the people that follow Mr. Cummings. But when your candidates speak, like what I usually do, whenever Mr. Cummings speak, I run around with Mr. Cummings and interview all on my Facebook pages. It was not in Liberia. Certain people want to see Mr. Cummings, but they were not selling him. They were not moving because everybody waiting for money. So they never did the work properly. But people knew Mr. Cummings. They knew the name, Alex Cummings. Everywhere you go, people talk about 3 candidates. With all the way people say they couldn't see Mr. Cummings, but they will say, you know Mr. Cummings, but we ain't see him yet though. But they will talk about Joseph Boaka. They will talk about so, but it's not a rejection. I don't consider that as a rejection. That means they rejected 19 other candidates. He's not the only Liberian that contested. But it's just that, well, some people say that I was going to waste my vote on Mr. If I vote for Mr. Cummings, I'm going to waste my vote. So I'm not going to vote for Mr. Cummings. People told me, people who did it. And that's why on my show, I always used to tell people, listen, if you think you will waste your vote, give your vote to Mr. Cummings in the first round. If you don't make it, you can give it to somebody else in the second round. But all these things were not playing when we're telling people on the ground and waiting for money.
Okay. Is it there, man? Is it there, Papi? So
everything was going fine. I don't know. The cartel need.
Okay. All right. We are in conversation with the general.
Okay. Let's see. Somebody. Okay. I think I'm back on. And everybody wanted this morning to move around. There's no T-shirt. All these things. That what Liberian people want. The system that is in Liberia, you got to work with that system until you can win. So we're not rejected. But Mr. Cummings alone ran his campaign. He was okay. He got the message. But the finish line, his people, the campaign team, they were reluctant, maybe waiting for money. So to me, they never did the work. They failed. They failed on that one. But Mr. Cummings coming back 2029, it's up to him. I can't decide. I'm not telling you whether he's going to come back. But if he wants to come back, he can make it. Let me say this to every Liberian, and maybe I made a mistake myself.
Do you want him
some people said,
do you want him
we are what?
Do you want him to come back, General?
Yes, I will want him to come back, but we have to do it different this time. I will have to be in that circle, and I cannot sit there and allow the same people, because you got to change no matter what happens. So not too much. They too much policy writers and all the things. We're not here for that. We're talking about real campaign, meeting the people, going to the people. You come down to the least man. Look, everybody entitled to 1 vote. The Zogo got 1 vote. The rich man got 1 vote. The man with all the money got 1 vote. That is how election work. But there's the thing here. And 2029, if Mr. Cummings want to come back, it's up to him. I can't force him. I can't say you got to come, Mr. Cummings. He got to make that decision. He's on a rest, on a break right now for another six months. He got to talk to his family and say, let's say I want to come back. It's up to him. So I can't. But if he want to come back, we'll have to do it different way and do it the best way. But let me say this to Liberian people. When Ellen was running, we said Ellen would never be president in Liberia. She became president. We said Joshua would never. He became president. We said Joe Bwaka would never be president. He's president. So do not tell me that Alex Cummings can never be president. Until he cannot be, he still has the opportunity to be president. So while I listen to other chat rooms, people right now still believe that Mr. Cummings is for 2029. What are UP as well? But hey, UP could do better. You listen to Liberian people, they tell you Mr. Cummings 2029, Mr. Cummings, Mr. Bwaka is out, Mr. Weah is out. The two most popular people, they already out. There's a reason we make them president. So anybody, if UP don't do the work right way, the Liberian people remove them come 2029. But I don't want to live with it. I say, oh, that Mr. Cummings time, it's not dress right dress. We got to do the work for it to be your time.
We intend not to sanction your answers and things, but we in a large group now. Amos George want to come in? Or come in? Pa George.
Yeah. Mr. Gadden, how you doing? Oh,
Yes, I'm okay, sir.
look, you mentioned something accusing the election commission. And I wasn't in Liberia, so everything I say, I just read from the people. How many commissioners that was appointed by UP?
Okay, I never accused the election commission.
You said
I said neck.
neck.
I said neck is filled.
What is it? What is neck?
National Election Commission, but you said the commissioners, you talking about the commissioners? Because now you just asked me how many person, because once you say how many person,
let me refine.
because when you talk about who was appointed by who, then you're talking about the commissioners.
Yeah. So you're saying, okay, let me go this way. So you're saying the election commission was supporters of UP and CDC. Am I right?
Yes, I said that.
Okay. If this was the case, who are those that was appointed by the Unity Party government that you think there's something wrong? Hold on there. And you came back to say people did not do your work. Now, if you said that you didn't do your work, why were you accused the election commission?
Okay, good. That's a very good one because good you brought it up. If I said they don't do the work,
And
if you don't
so
have a
the third one, yeah. You talk about communications. I support Mr. Cummings from Atlanta, 2014.
yeah,
This time. But they did not listen to people. Many times, some are called people. Many times, I called some people from the ANC. Hey, what's going on? Oh, we're doing this. Oh, we got to call this person. So my question to you, when did you realize that the people there were not doing the job?
okay. They got ANC Global that's supposed to raise money for ANC. At the same time, they want to go to Liberia and control things in Liberia. They want to appoint and like in Nima County, who they want to be the coordinators, and they left everybody on the ground. Even the ANC on the ground had a serious problem with that because ANC Global, they are friends of Mr. Cummings. They believe that they want the best of Mr. Cummings. They gave the money, but the other guys there on the ground was not receiving not anything, so they were just discouraged. We go to the headquarters, they say, well, we ain't got money to go campaign. But we see other people doing what they're supposed to do. They having workshop and all these things. The fact of the matter is that there was no one that was really committed to say whether Mr. Cummings gave me or not, I will go out there and campaign. You need money to do all these things. You need money. The people sit down, they got to drink water before they got to get small things to go back home, especially the local guys, you understand? But if I go to Liberia now, I can campaign because I got small money in my pocket. So that was different. So there are two things. They got a team on the ground and they got the ANC Global that feels that, oh, I know Mr. Cummings, we are the big boys, and that these are the people that everybody complain about. They're from Atlanta, they live in America, they got money, they don't need nothing from Mr. Cummings. So their job is to raise the money. But when you raise the money, this money is going to be used for campaigning. It's not there to just use on different things. So what they did with it, I don't want to blame anyone for whether they use the money or not, but I believe that they fall short. The job was not done properly. You send children on the field to go get information. When they get that information, you got to go back. Nobody went to do follow up. All these pictures you saw, people were going, they were taking names. We went to places where they say, oh, the last time I saw people here, they came here, they took our names, and they never came back. You the first person to actually tell us from Mr. Cummings. So they were not actually selling Mr. Cummings' agenda because everybody was waiting for that cash. You know, they sold Mr. Cummings as a rich man. So Librarian man, if you say the man rich, they want you when you finish speaking, small team or draft. So we knew all that things. So the first shot, and that was it. Plain blank. Now let's go to your neck you talk about. 2005 to 2011. UP was in charge. So when I tell you that UP controls NEC, the people that you saw out there, who you think, how you think, and okay, we need to look at all the commissioners. George, we are recommended Deviated Brown during Ellen Johnson time. So apart from that, look at all these other people. Do you know how long some of them been with NEC? Like the other guy, when he said he was the IT guy. Seyon was there, and Joshua just promoted him. Every one of them was there. Joshua just promoted them. So what I try to tell you when I say they were in charge, I ran camp in 2018. Somebody in NEC, I would not call the name, and I also told Darius Dillon when Darius Dillon was running. The woman said, no matter what you do, protect your vote at the polling center, because whatever information comes from that center is binding. And if you don't have a pink slip, if you don't have any other slip, and you say that they cheat you, you have to prove it. We first shut on our pool washer. Be honest with you, they never knew what's going on. Technically, CDC and UP need pool washer. I know people who sedition work with NEC. I know people who are UP people and work with NEC. In fact, there was an argument and almost police went there in District 14. Two poll watchers arguing about invalid and not invalid. The other person said, because this vote is supposed to go to one of them or go against one of them, the police had to come there. So when I tell you, I'm not talking about the commission. The commissioners, they're not on the fee, but whatever information that come in. So the two parties, they are the one when CDC took over, they put their people, the local workers, they pool washer, they did the same thing, they did it. They just call it, man, you got to recruit our people. They start recruiting citizens as a pool washer, as a magistrate. And most of the people that were in there, they are UP followers. So when I tell you that something went wrong, something went wrong. So I still don't trust them. And if I tell you another thing, if I say you will not believe it, the election was poorly attended in the second round. But I was surprised to see 1.7 million people voted. I saw Spoon. I drove all the way to Nima County. I voted in Bon County. I walk in and out to vote. 2005, second round, there was line. 11.
The neighbor.
Okay.
Just give me 1 minute. Something,
I'm sorry, no people trying to call me. People call it like second 2011. CDC left the second round, but there were long line. 2017 in the second round, there were long line. But this time, if you go and watch Spoon, I think your network walk around the country up to 6 o'clock. There were no line. Everybody said this election something wrong. The thing is poorly attended. Nobody care. People in the market walking around. It's going to be a national holiday. But to our surprise, it went to 1.7 million people voted in the second round. So I don't know how they did it. How that magic? How was that magic that you tell me? The second round, the first round was 1.9 or 1.8 million people voted. So so something went wrong. Something was not right.
So quickly,
let me push
you
back on something. You mentioned two things here, and I want clarity on it again. ANC Global were raising the money.
Yeah.
And they were dictating how to spend the money and how the money should be spent. My question to you, then who was in charge? Is it Mr. Cummings or the ANC people?
Okay. Mr. Cummings.
The next one is this. You mentioned again. You know, look, for me, I was not on the ground, but what I saw, what I have read, what you see here, there's a contradiction. Either the people who are on the ground seeing something different and you see something different. If you have any evidence that from the polling pool, your votes, the ANC vote, was tampered with? Do you have anything to prove that? Or it's just based on what you're seeing here to say, hey, because you people send the people, the citizens send the people. And there were international observers in this or in certain localities of the country. They did not say that. So why you want us to believe you?
Well, I really don't want you to believe me, because if we have evidence, I just told you I can. If we have evidence, then it's a different thing. We're going to be in court. But let me tell you this today.
But if you don't
This
have
is
evidence,
wait now, wait. It is my right to tell me that something went wrong. I can give you example. There's a lady called Gifty. She lives in Maryland. Gifty got a big organization in Bond County. Gifty got women that she support, and the people love Gifty. Gifty, where she voted, Gifty has zero. Gifty called press conference straight. She said, "I done with Liberia. I done with Liberia." Where she voted, where I voted, I was on the line. I saw people with me, that ANC people in that room. Where I voted, we had two. So I started joking. I said, "That my only check, or that my only check." But Gifty, where Gifty voted, she has zero. The more call press conference straight. So you want to tell me Gifty voted against Mr. Cummings?
I don't know, because
okay. So I'm telling you, I got I don't see nothing in there that convinced me. And in fact, I went live. I said, "Oh, I think the election is cool." I did a recording in a place nobody knew. I did a recording, and I want to do it for the second time. And they took my phone from me. But I actually got a recording, but no audio. I walked in there. I saw everybody how they were sitting. I still can't get my hand on what they did. But friends, everybody got friends. Everybody got friends. People gave you information. There's no proof, but they telling you, say, "My man, I just sorry for you." In fact, people told us while we're in Liberia that this election, the position where Mr. Cummings will go, will not even like it. Until he's just coming back to us and say, "Wow, how people tell us that Mr. Cummings," and look at this. Let me tell you something. 2017, Mr. Cummings came 5th place with 7%. 2023, he came 5th place with 1%. You telling me 95% of the vote, or 90% of the vote, divided between CDC and UP? That what you tell? I should believe it?
Yeah,
I will not believe it as an individual. I'm not that stupid. I'm sorry for saying it, but I don't have any evidence. But I'm telling you, something went wrong, and they know what they did, and they played the game well. So we're not jumping the street to say, "So I don't have that evidence that prove it, prove this." We can't prove it. 2005, the international community said the election was clean. But all Brempo say Ellen Johnson cheated, UP cheated George Weah. But the international community said the election was fine. 2011, they said the election was credible, but CDC walked out in the second round. 2011, the same UP people said Ellen did something for George Weah to win. You know what I'm saying? If our UP broke the record, or ruling party that they removed and came back in 6 years. But there are certain things we know I can't say on radio anymore because I don't have evidence. I don't have evidence, and saying it, you would think, but that's my view. And I hope nobody, I know some of the ANC people, somebody will get vexed, but I'm telling you, and nobody can convince me in a way. Everything, even if Mr. Cummings is not going to win, if you're not even going to win, there's no way you would tell me that Mr. Cummings got one vote in a polling center.
Okay, so
who is Apiton?
All right. Okay. Now we know who is Apiton.
Thank you.
Yeah, Wotton Keto is on the line. There are a few couple of things.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I also think that what do you think about the VSB of Mr. Cummings? Do you think that the VSB was the right person for this particular elections? You think Mr. Cummings made the right choice?
Okay. there's a phrase, in fact, there's a quote. They said, no decision is right until it is right. No decision is right until it is right. So every decision you take, understand, if it goes good, your decision was perfect. But yes, that was a decision. She brought fire. The people of Grand Bassa County decided who to carry. All the way Joshua went there and dealt with Boyson Guy, causing hell out of him. They still voted for George Weah. George Weah won it. He won Grand Bassa County. Yombli Kanga, they were already there. She got one of people. You know the name, the Bassa people believe in names. Do you know who is Kanga? Do you know who is Finley? Who are your father? Okay, so they were powerful. They play the game. Charlene can speak Bassa. Charlene pretend the Bassa man saying that Mr. Bromsky is a Congo man. Look at she can't even speak Bassa. I went to Bassa to campaign, and they saying these are the cheap things, and the people buy it. Oh, when you think we know that Bromsky dollar, but I get a Congo game, man. They can't get me speak our trap.
So
they can't get me speak our trap, and they play it, and it work. It work because and your Bassa I know you won't get first with me. They sold the leg for small fish. They refuse to take their own. You might not get first here. That your business. You sold your land for small fish and you abandon your own. Why? And Nima Kante took their own.
Let me stop you a little bit, Keshen.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but the decision was right.
Okay. Keto, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You get a question?
Well, yeah. I got a question for Mounir. So, you don't think all the attack, negative on people on social media help to make ANC unpopular, such that Kumi will reduce his 7% to 1%? When I mean attack, I saw on Facebook a lot of people, when you go and talk to them, the first thing is not insulting you. They're too intelligent than you. Once upon a time, you and Mariah Yakula was on Spoon, talking about like Griff, we ain't got no sense. All that. You don't think it helped to bring his 7% down to 1%?
No. I will tell you, you see the Facebook here? Do you know how many librarians actually get on Facebook to list the thing we're doing right now? Now, the first time I get to know a librarian, people can shut data off in Liberia. They shut the data off because they're scared for it to finish. If you catch one Liberian going live for 20 minutes in Liberia, they got money or somebody gave it to them and say, do this for us. Now in Liberia, they listen to the radio and the internet we're watching right now is the same. Because even to listen to radio, before people would sit in front of the houses and they listen to the radio, but now people coming home late. Only those who, and other people I saw listen to Spoon. I was joking with my own friends there. I said, but man, I saw all of y'all watch Facebook and y'all watch Spoon. You in a car. Nobody, it was remember, we here for that thing there, man. So that attack, they did more attacks on the ground than on Facebook. I'm listening to it. There was it reduced nothing. The UP is the biggest party right now in Liberia. In fact, the oldest party combined with the Action Party and the Loop, they all came together. They got members. They decided to come back. They know how to campaign. When they're running with one story and say you rogue, every one of them will tell you say you rogue. That the people who can tell you say the woman pregnant, but the woman ain't even had the first sex yet. So they know what to do. They are very good at that, and they did it. While they were on Facebook making it look fun that we can't attack Mr. Cummings, but they had the surrogates, they had people in communities that were telling people, giving them different news. And when we heard that thing, I text Louis Brown. I said there's something going on. We in America, but people giving us information. When I went to Liberia, I noticed it. In fact, if anybody follow my show going around, people ask that question. My friend, excuse me, all the things you're talking are found. We like Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings is this. But my question here, why Mr. Cummings refused? Mr. Baka begged the man that because of that thing, CPP broke up. That people gave that story. I said, what? Until when we start talking, the people say, they're not true, man. I said, but you're sure to me why Mr. Baka begged Mr. Cummings. but the news were already gone. We're in bang at the ball. They can ask my friend, yeah, we'll start about the player, and I already feel become a man. I will vote for Joe. Yeah, oh, I will vote for Mr. Bwaka. So the two parties for the last 17 years, the Liberian Post saw the two parties.
So okay, let me come in here. This is quite okay. I think I'm Dr. Toto here. Dr. Toto.
Mr. So I got another
Yeah,
question about it.
yeah, hold on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Toto, yeah, come in.
Yeah.
So Shen, do you think
Yeah.
Going forward, ANC will have to collaborate with one of these two big parties to have a lifeline, or are they gonna go solo?
My brother, with the way Liberia looking right now, if any party try to go solo, you still going to give the party who already got a collaboration and combine with certain things. If you ask me, if I got money right now and say I want to run for president in Liberia, I will start looking for the next big party that's going to be struggling for leadership, which is the CDC. I would negotiate with them. We'll be having our little talk, and bring other parties together. But let's do this. You one party is not an easy thing. I don't think you're able to just take the people from CDC and bring it to ANC. If anybody in ANC thinking that way, they're wasting the time. They are wasting the time. You got to collaborate to reduce things. You got other small parties. These are the things you start working on right now. We got to do it the way it's supposed to be now. Look, a lead with me, I want 3 parties or 4 parties. Finish. But they got some parties that you don't even know. Victor Jones, the guy put in get 50%, then get 50 votes. But they say you should register 500 person for every county, but you only get the first 500 on your own tally sheet today. So you got to collaborate. And most of these people, when they form their parties, is for them to get a job. By the time I support you, I bet you today, Apeton going to get a job, Lucille Camara going to get a job. He will not say, oh, you know what? I want a job for one of my men. No. So we need to collaborate. If Mr. Cummings is going to try it, we got to do it different way, and we got to be there and know what's happening. And for the information, I'm a say I in 2029. It can be any kind of way. It can be any kind of way. I get one eye open and I'm watching it. I will not sit back this time around. I will be in there. I'm not going to just volunteer to support anyone. This time around, they will send me that scene where they say, come here. Because sometimes when you do things free, people don't respect you. But it's not, I was not doing it for nothing.
Okay.
My brother in different party, I was doing it because of Liberia, and I believe. But in Liberia, don't vote on the issue anyway, so they're just, it's not the issue voting on.
Let's just keep it short now, but if you look like it's crowded. Dr. Toto, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Let me greet everybody in studio. And also let me say thanks to the General Mona for coming to the show.
Thank you.
I just have 1 or 2 questions or concern. I hope my question have been addressed before, a little bit repetitive because I keep on the show late. But I just want to ask when it comes to the ANC, the way how the performance in this election. One of the strong supporters of the ANC, Mounir Keshen-aka.
Yeah.
Mounir Keshen-aka posted a Facebook comment after that defeat, and she said one of the reasons she said I try to quote her and paraphrase her, if I quote her correctly, but she said that we're having so many meetings, conference call, meeting, and we fail to reach to the Liberian people on the ground. And she kind of addressed that one of the defeats that you guys are too much involved in conference call, meeting, but not fully on the ground to meet the people. I tried to just paraphrase a statement. And then also to what all has happened now. How do you know how Mr. Cummings feel and how he stands when he comes back to politics in Liberia? Is he going to be back politically, or do you have any personal conversation with him to know what next for him or about his future in terms of Liberia politics?
And the first thing, the statement that Mounir Keshen-aka made, that her statement is up to her, but people got to take the blame. You see, I was not in a hierarchy The only blessing, and I would say I'm happy, and some of the old members don't have that privilege. I can text Mr. Cummings 10 times, maybe on the 11th time he might return my call. I had the opportunity to sit with Mr. Cummings. He appreciated all Sidiki and myself. He said it over and over. He said we are one of his loyalists, loyal supporters, and other people, but he knew people were lying just for what they can get. He said it, and he knows there are people in Labrador who just want the money before they work. That is how they sold Mr. Cummings. Nobody volunteered like some of us who went there, we pay our own way. ANC never did anything. But Amuna Faha saying, and I told you, I said we fought short because when we start to go around and we hearing all these things, we're surprised. We thought they were ready to having a grand game because that is what the ANC. So I said I blame ANC Global for everything. You can't be in America and think that the people in Liberia like they're in America. You got to reach out to the common man. The common man want to see Mr. Cummings. But other people, so in fact, I blame Mr. Cummings. Since he's a leader, he agreed to take the responsibility. They never did it right. But I will tell you, yes, if you lose, you feel discouraged of the time. But when I asked Mr. Cummings the same question you asked me, how you feeling? He said, Mounir, to be frank with you, I'm vindicated. I try my best. But he still got that confidence in the Liberian people. But they got to have a new mindset. If I let's say I will quote it, if I will do it again, I will do it different way. In fact, he said, this time you will be in my circle. He said it plain blank. And I started laughing because I told him, I joke, I said, well, okay, because 2029 coming my own party too. Then I will be the next applicant. We started joking. But I cannot guarantee you now and say Mr. Cummings is going to come back. He will talk to his family. When you ask him, he said, well, I'm not thinking about it. I'm going to rest for the next 6 months. I will go back to Liberia. I will create jobs. I will do my business. I'm not leaving Liberia to go anywhere. I will continue. In fact, my plan, if UP want to use my agenda, they are free. I will give it to them to use because he promised to give it out to whoever wins. I will do it. But let nobody say that Mr. He's not going nowhere. He will stay right in Liberia, do a business. In fact, he said he's going to spend more time to do whatsoever to create jobs and continue. But until the Liberian people can have that mindset that we got to vote on the issues, the Liberian people don't just vote on issues. You can build a tent well that you will see your town. But he's okay. He's in a good spirit. He's a little bit, but you know, when you spend your money and you don't win, but imagine the people that took last place too now.
Yeah, so let me come in here. I've been giving these guys all of them. So, Moni, I'm kind of like, I'm wondering, like a piece of club now between the states, or you alluding to the fact that there's a big surprise here with some of the inner people that work with Mr. Comey, things that they are saying, what they are doing now. So I don't know why is the difference that these people too, who knows whether they went in there to. But let me just say this here, and not just on the ANC, some CDC, and even the GOL, some of the people that were interpreting their message. Their messages, they were too confrontational. They were still persuasive. You guys were very, the kind of message can be forceful, but that sort of forceful, you are not giving people the opportunity to listen to them. If they not agree with some of the commentators, it means the person is not part of you, or that person is not agree. I'm wondering, Mr. Cummings, I don't know when did he realize all of these things were falling apart right with on his own feet. For example, I'm wondering his leadership style in terms of the strength as to how he takes some decisive decision. You heard this morning on the eve of a major political rally, the money went missing. And people were with people, there were people, my guess, there were people who were in charge. Well, it later on became like a criminal investigation, but you know, I know, there should have been some sort of internal investigation. I don't know whether there was a decisive decision taken. I didn't see that. The next is some of those people who were within or who were in charge. We saw them. Don't you think that gave Liberian people a second thought? Wait a minute, because he was the guy to be like a clean guy, and all right, and I agree that the connection was in there because there were big rallies held here in the United States and other places, and other people felt that they were left out of this out of the whole role when the real action was to be taken in Liberia. Was that something he ever had a conversation?
See, Mr. Cummings is the guy who, yes, he spent the money, but he gave everybody the opportunity to go ahead and make the decision. He don't run the party. But me personally, if I were in that situation, if I put more money, trust me, my voice will be heard. Mr. Cummings will say, he got to think what he will say that, oh, you don't like Moriah. Then he will ask, do you have another alternative? Who you think I can bring in? And nobody will tell him, oh, I got this person. But we just don't like people because we don't like them. And Mr. Cummings is not one of these guys. If you don't have that proof to get rid of you, and he believed that if he get rid of you, everybody got people. If I remove you, you follow, you go with your people too. So he was very the kind of guy. But if Mr. Cummings, he's the kind of guy like in his corporate world, he say gets on the zero tolerance. But it comes to politics, you got to be careful the action you take because people will end up going, because in Liberia they know how to carry news. The 70,000, yes, it destroy, it kill us. This mobilization, and that's how Liberians operate. They got this money, they will not mobilize. The big boss will sit and just nowhere. They don't. You gotta mobilize. You the first thing you gotta have that passion. Everybody going to Mr. Cummings because he got the money.
So why
he got the money? So I blame them. I blame Louis Brown. I blame whosoever. But then Mr. Cummings will take bulk of the blame.
Is that a good leadership? Because you sit there, you in charge, you are driving the vessel, you are the pilot, you're supposed to make sure all of your passengers land safely, and now when they get into Rawafi and then the terminal go off here. So is that fair now, hearing all of these things? And he saw these things happening on here. So what? Is that equipped with something like where we all frown on to President Weah when he was president because he doesn't want, it's like he doesn't want anybody to feel bad about him.
You see, political decisions sometimes in Liberia. That's why I say Mr. Cummings, he need to, if you're going to come back, you have to change it. You don't have to be soft. It almost like your supervisor, your hangout yesterday, and today he's going to give you the message that they're firing you, and he will take his time. He say, my man, you know, we're going to lay you off, and they will make it so nice. That's Mr. Cummings there. But when you're in a political war, I know you got to put your foot to move you and move on and bring people in. But Mr. Cummings been an introvert person who very quiet, who can talk and just watch. He's a smart man, but you need somebody, the opposite side, who will go out there when you do everything that will monitor the water, and he can come and fix it. Liberian politics ain't need no diplomacy. I'm telling you. And I want Mr. Cummings was going by, and it was wrong.
So the different thing. Are you one of those responsible for his defeat, Mounir Keshen? Because
no,
sometimes I watch you in the night. Hold on. I see you and people fighting. I'm not here to convince you whether you like it, you not like it. Go away. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they came to observe. But you are one of the mouthpiece, whether he authorized you to do that or not. But when you get into such a fight, do you think that's something also had impact? You know what? I can't go with this guy here. Look, the way you're talking, who knows? He would be the next Carrasco.
Okay, so good.
Do you also take responsibility?
Well, as a team, I would take responsibility, but I will be honest with you. If you hear me telling someone that it's your business, that means it's an issue that I can't convince you on. You say, Mr. Cummings, finger document, you tell him on my back and telling me, no. I say, no. I say, it's up to you, decide. I can even try to wait now. Wait, Zion, wait. Liberians, if they don't support you, they will tell you what they want, what they believe in. I can't convince or sedition or real sedition to change his mind or her mind. I can't convince nobody from UP change your mind and come and join. You got few people, if their mind are changed, they change on their own. Sedition who's supposed to leave, they left on their own. So if I see a UP man on my post and telling me that's also I want to go, I dance with them in the mud, I come back and say I'm sorry. And it worked, and people saw me and people pat me in the back. They say, oh, Mounir, you know how to do this, but you can do this one. Yes, I start to change it. Yes, sometimes you'll be so mad with some people who just want to come and distract you. You know what I'm saying? But when I went out there to campaign, I never told somebody that. And anybody who say, if I look at Zion, Alfonso, and say, Alfonso, you know what? From the way you behave, I'm not going to vote for Mr. Boaka. Then who am I? All Zion need to do, if you give me the message, I'm going to make my decision on Mr. Boaka because of you. Then I will not vote. Then you yourself, you're not ready, man. Let's be honest with you there.
So if I go come in, if you allow me.
I don't do things because you cost me, I'm not voting.
Mounir, let me say this.
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know all of these people? They are seditions, even UPs.
I have a comment and a question.
Okay.
I
know.
And Mr. So everybody can bear me. I support Mr. Cummings, the ANC. But you're now blaming people that were in America for most of the things that happened in Liberia. And you were in America, as Mr. So was saying. I follow your post your broadcast sometime. And it's not the issue. You want to convince somebody, and you want to at the same time combat it because the person disagrees with you. In politics, I don't think that works well for anybody. And those are some of the factors that factor in about people that support Mr. Cummings, that the people describe some of us as being arrogant because of what we were seeing to them. For me, I'm on the platform, never insulted anybody. I can disagree with you. But not one day I threw any harsh words to anybody because I believe politics is a matter of persuasion. I support Mr. Cummings. Terry myself can have a conversation, but I will never insult Terry. So he's UPP because I want to bring him over and he want to bring me over. If he insult me, hey, I will go and make a blanket statement about the institution. But let me go back to something. Louis Brown, Dr. Martin the Giveaway, and Daniel K were brought on board of the campaign. I think Mr. So they were here, and I said that was a problem. The moment I heard those three people's names on the platform, I said there was a problem. I called Morovia to talk to some official from the campaign. I said, hey, why are you bringing these people on board? He said,
So you were calling people here when we asked you, say you were not speaking. You're not with the outside.
Don't get it mixed up. I've not been a spokesman for ANC. I know one time I was a spokesperson. I support the party, but I have never been a spokesperson. Being I support the party, you people ask me about questions about the party, and I said, no, I can't speak for them. But my personal view, this is how I look at it. But I will call one or two persons, I say, hey, what happened? And those are some of the fault. Because Louis Brown was not a good messenger for the ANC. Daniel Chair was not a good messenger for the ANC. These were problems. And I don't know how the people arrived at this decision. Mr. So talk about this money-making thing. They continue to push me on this issue. And I said from day one, I said, if I was executive, I would have arrested Kula, who had that money that night, along with all the people that were in that car. They were going to be people of interest because they were the one had that money when that money got missing. And I did not see any swift decision from the ANC. Honorable Musa Bebe came and made it worse. Say, hey, that's our money. Hey, you're talking about public funds. It's not your money. When public funds go missing, you don't make no kind of statement. Then it makes people to wonder what kind of leadership are the people who were around Mr. Cummings. But let me ask this question to you. Do you have any idea the decision that Mr. Cummings made to not to support Boaka or Cummings? I mean, Joseph Boaka and Owia, and how the member, the executive committee, you have an idea how they voted? And my last question to you, do you think that Louis Brown, Louis Brown, they were not part of the party? They were from the MP, they just came to support the party. But do you think Orisha Gu Mounir Keshen-aka, and Elijah Stowe, you think these people were committed people to Mr. Cummings based on the decision and support? Because you are a member, I'm not a member of the party. So you were there. Do you think, if I'm asking you tonight, that these people were loyal members to the ANC or to Mr. Cummings?
Well, I'm not here to. I'm not here to question. I'm not here to question the loyalty. They were member of the ANC. I am not an official. Wait. They all take the responsibility as leaders of the party, so they want to take that responsibility. I'm just the guy out there who did join later on, but never hold position, never went to any of the executive meeting one day. So I'm not going to say whether they are loyal or not. Yes, Mr. Cummings got confidence in them, but not because they supported George Weah. That means they are not loyalists to the CTDC. You said something here about us insulting people. Well, I mean, combative. Listen, combative.
Yeah.
Because of that, people ran away. There's a guy who the best causer on team. Wait, please wait.
Let me correct you.
Let's see.
Let me correct you.
Please wait now.
I said because of some people being combated. Don't you think?
I know. That's why it drove me away. But let me just give you one example. The guy who is the minister of cursing on Facebook, he now calls Joseph Boakai man. He calls everybody man, and he was supporting Joseph Boakai. Nobody ran away from him. The same people who used to say he was cursing before, they follow him. They enjoy this time because he was supporting them this time around. Why they run away? The people that would not support, I know my Liberian people. Listen, I know Liberians, and the way I know my people, let me tell you, a Liberian man for you, you can go up and calm down. If I'm going to switch on the other side are going to be cursing me too. They were going to tell me that nonsense. The same, so let's leave that. I never drove nobody away from Mr. Cummings. People chose to leave on their own, or they were not supporting Mr. Cummings. And most of the time, it's okay, and they will say, oh, you know, I supported Mr. Cummings, but because of your senior, I will leave. Who are you? If you leave in something you believe in, because you know, me time I get vexed with the people in ANC and stay, I believe Mr. Cummings, why run away? So we should start blaming people. Prophet Key calls every day on Facebook. He now calls Joseph Boakai mine on. And it's simple, they glorify him. Prince Johnson supported he was supporting George Weah. He came to Mr. Boakai, the main hero. Then we worry about Louis Brown. We can manufacture new people. So I don't worry about these things. Whether Mr. Cummings made a right decision or not, that was a decision. If Mr. Toll said I will support Mr. Weah in the second round, that's his decision. The same Mr. Gawe, who they said was corrupt when he came to Mr. Cummings, he went to Mr. Boakai. We saw him in Riverside. We saw him in Riverside supporting Mr. Boakai. So if I go to Boakai, I'm a Liberian. When I go to the side, I'm not a Liberian. Mr. Cummings, you don't know who Mr. Cummings voted for. Mr. Cummings decided to make a decision because you know what? The party came up with a decision that he said, well, okay, that the party, you go ahead, but I'm going to remain this. Because there was a reason. There was a reason. You know who he voted for? You don't know.
What was the reason?
You don't know who he voted for.
So can I ask a quick question?
The party made a decision. The CP made a decision, and that's it. So if you don't like the decision, and he said I will remain neutral, the party, why should Mr. Cummings go on one side and say, okay, listen, I'm going to endorse John Brown? Why the party say we're endorsing this? You don't think they could expel him from the party? So he said, you know what? Okay, I'm not endorsing nobody. That's my right. As an individual, I don't have to vote. I don't have to party.
Okay, yeah, Terry. Oh, he gone. I guess somebody. I got a few people with shift gear yet. I guess 763 number. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Alfonso. Good evening to your panelists.
Yeah.
Good evening to you, my brother Alfonso.
Yeah, Airflow. Good evening. Welcome.
I'm good. The general, how you doing, Mounir Keshen? Mounir, can you hear me?
He's muted. I think he's muted.
Yeah,
General, you muted.
What's your?
I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead. Keshen.
Okay, I just wanted to.
No, we're not hearing you.
To be on your platform. It's been quite some time now. My name is D. Flo.
Maybe you got to go out and come back in.
I'm ordained supporter of Joseph Imabwakite, somebody who has been in politics for quite some time now. And I just want to make that for the record. There are a couple of points that I like the general. He's speaking his mind. And I like a man like that who will come out and say, we made some mistakes and call his own people out to order. But a couple of things that he does not know that happened to Mr. Cummings. 2016, ANC's first program in the United States. At the time, I was running the biggest show called Liberia Destiny Debaters. At the time, we only had Liberia Public Radio, Liberia Diaspora Forum, and Liberia Destiny Debaters. Those were the three big talk shows in the United States.
Right.
But let me go to the point. Mr. Cummings is not a politician. For Mr. Cummings to be a person and go into politics, chooses vice presidential candidate who is also a political JGC, that tells you that Mr. Cummings did not know this. He does not know the system. Let me give you a couple of things that we brought that helped us to bring Mr. Cummings to where we brought him. Mr. Cummings tried to follow us. We're a Georgia team. These elitists, the ANC group from Georgia, they are elitists. They think that they are the most educated Laborians, they are the richest Laborians, and they know politics of Labor, which they do not know. Mr. Cummings chose the Charlie Bronsky, now known that Charlie Bronsky and Musa Belete are attached to George Oprah. Musa Belete is an ordained supporter of George Weah. So, Alfonso here, so look at it, man, the people around Mr. Cummings. Louis Brown, Musa Belete, Charlie Bronsky, and McIntosh. Let's take the big four there. When you look at in politics, you go into politics, we're doing polls and over polls. We did a lot of polls during the campaign. We were telling Mr. Cummings that instead of you attacking us, you have to be attacking George Weah. But with the ANC, they spend their time attacking us, that means Joseph Imabwakite, they're focusing their attention on the party in office. How do you do that? You are not helping yourself. What you are doing there, you are helping us because you are attacking me and I'm attacking my main target. I was supposed to be our target. But because you are focusing on me, I'm playing two ways in politics. We got what we call the political window in politics. You attack the head of the government, your adversaries on the side, you pick one of them as you attack them, but don't forget your target. So we play Mr. Cummings, we play the ANC Georgia folks to show to them that they don't know politics in general. Let me give you another example. Mr. Cummings started a team to choose between President-elect Joseph Imabwakite and then George Mounir. Mr. Cummings pushed Charlie Bronsky to head that committee. But Mr. Cummings is supposed to realize that Mr. Cummings is supposed to know that when you have Musa Belete, who is tied to George Weah, he's going to take the money to George Weah and he will take your party to George Weah. That's what happened to Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings can run in Liberia 2029. We will still beat Mr. Cummings.
Okay.
Are you guys hearing me? We will beat Mr. Cummings 2029. Mr. Cummings can never succeed in Liberia until I interviewed Mr. Cummings twice. Mr. Cummings will never be president until he can think about what type of message, what type of people, where he needs to focus his political attention. Other than that, Mr. Cummings should go by 2029. We'll be right here. I'll tell you, we'll be doing it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the time.
All right, Flo. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, Terry, go ahead. We're going to shift gears.
Yeah. So quickly, I listened to Mr. Keshen very carefully, and he said something. If it's not a joke, that he want to be on the ballot in 2029. In my opinion, and he also said that he observed President Weah when President Weah became the senator, he noticed that President Weah was not fit for the job. So in my mind, I'm beginning to read between the lines that is he saying that if he is to be on the ballot in 2029, that he don't trust Mr. Cummings' decision to be president, or he don't trust Mr. Cummings anymore, that Mr. Cummings can be this president to lead Liberia, given the fact that all these irregularities that went on around him, that and he could not manage it. Do Mr. Keshen still believe in Mr. Cummings' ability to lead Liberia?
The first, let me correct something I never told you. I say I'm in 2029, I can be a representative, senator, anything. So at least I don't want you to contradict what I said. But let me say this again, and I owe no apology to anyone. Mr. Cummings is still the best. People said it. What his campaign message never resonated with the Liberian people. They don't vote on issue. The pastor you just brought up here, because he was preaching his own sermon. I just told you guys, never is a word I will not use anymore. I will never use the word never anymore into politics in Liberia. That this person can never be this. You know, it's so damn. Tell me, like, what he just did on this show to come and give his flimsy political theory. I should allow him. I can never convince him that whether he will support Mr. Cummings. I interviewed Mr. Cummings 2 times. He will never. It's a bunch of political jargon. He just tried to satisfy himself. I know him. He tried to satisfy himself on this platform. I'm not even dignifying him, because what he just said is nonsense. And I will say publicly, I bet him to challenge me one-on-one. If you want to have that debate, he should come and make a foolish statement here to come and disrespect the politics in this, it's politics in the Georgia. Who care about Georgia people? I just said it here. If you want to run in Liberia, you do it the Liberian way. You can't do it the American way. You won't blame Georgia, you won't blame this. And I say, yes, I blame them because they got to carry it. I went to Liberia, I campaigned in Liberia before, 2018. I know the Liberian people. But I will tell you, I never said I'm going to be on a ballot to run for president. Oh, my brother, don't say that. I still believe if Mr. Cummings want to come back, if he come back today, I will give Mr. Cummings my 100% support, but it will be done the way it's supposed to be. I will not sit on his side any longer to just be running campaign, and my suggestion and will not hold. I just want to convincing people, and they got people who making the decision in there. We know what the Liberian people want. We know where to go, how to go there. So I'm saying that I'm not blaming one person. If you mess up, you messed up. You got to come back and recalibrate and go back again. If Mr. Cummings want to do it, it's up to him. If he don't do it, fine. Maybe he don't want to run again. It's up to him. So sometimes y'all bring these people on who sort of answer them before they leave. But y'all brought this man on and just can't explain all kinds of nonsense here that he couldn't win the 2017 to win George Weah. He supported George Weah one time. But Mr. Cummings, you can bring it back in, will win. Y'all stop that thing there, man. To even allow him to go that far. Then you telling me, say, I argue, they can't. This man come here. You who say we can argue with people. If D-Flow myself talking, I should allow D-Flow to take a smooth ride down memory lane. The nonsense you are spilling here.
He's just a new person. That's a different way. You people and some of us. Well, when he said never, I don't know whether it's something that is written in stone.
Thank you.
So why should we get under your skin? Because
no, he ain't get on my skin because he spoke and left. So I want to hear it good.
No, but
he said he interviewed Mr. Cummings 2 times. Liar. Where you interview here? That go. But Mr. Cummings, I still believe in Mr. Cummings. His agenda. I don't love Mr. Cummings. I admire his agenda. I admire him. He's an honest guy, but he got to change the way Liberian people do things. You got to change it a little bit and spice it up.
Okay, Mounir, let me ask you this question. And this is not deep flow. And this is something that I tell people. People we prejudge or we program how to think about people. What is the reason that so much the people in Atlanta have that he called them elitists?
Thank you.
You know, because today you're supposed to somebody that won the election, fine, that's it. But you didn't just call other people's name because you feel like calling their names or because you disagree with them. But Mounir, let me ask you this question. If Mr. Comey decide to come back, you think those that in his orbit now, you think they all should be around to play that same role?
Well, to play the same role in a way.
You come to be political correct, you will say a level Mr. Cummings.
No. I'm not telling you. No. I'm not going to say a level Mr. Cummings. Why would I say that? I just had a show today and said it. The people who in that cycle,
yeah,
they can be there, but they're not going to hold that position. They're not going to be the campaign manager they was before. If they're going to play a role, you're going to be a policy person, you can go outside. The person who will be the campaign manager, I got to know them. Liberian campaign manager is not the one in America where David Hasselhoff can just sit down and plan and say your goal. In Liberia, when they say campaign manager, trust me, the people want to see you out there. You must get that influence that when you move, people follow. Now when you go stand and everybody passing by you, they first with you. You need hands-on in Liberia. Hands-on in Liberia. Y'all say John, we are Dan Buka, but it worked for him. They say Mr. Bwaka ain't talk, it worked for him. Dylan there, other people they're giving their own news. When people in America thinking say that because of you, they both voted for Mr. Bwaka in Liberia, you lying. They're not because of you in America, they voted. It's just less than 2%. 50.36 to 49.40 whatsoever. I'm not a statistician, but maybe almost like that. The country is divided. People switch to George and Mr. Bwaka last minute and say people make the decision last minute of time.
Why?
And say, you know what?
Why they made that decision?
Because some people say, listen, you know what? Get rid of man. We are gotta go. We are gotta go, man. This is nonsense. Because I hear nothing from Mr. Weah. Some people stay home. So the election, the country is divided. Don't cause sedition. Why should I cause the common sedition because of George Weah failure? I need them. Why should I cause or common UP members because Mr. Bwaka win or Mr. Cummings win? That mean every one of us now with nothing. Mr. Cummings say up to him to come back or not. I can't force him, but I would love for him to come back and do a different way. If I don't see it the way it's supposed to be, I am not going to be part of it.
How you want it to be?
I want Mr. Cummings hands on. I want Mr. Cummings to understand that politics is not just about just writing tell me what we're going to do, tell me the how, the what, that you need to reach out to the people. And Mr. Cummings is willing. Mr. Cummings is somebody, once you give him the agenda, he will reach out. But you can't tell me for Mr. Cummings to go look for people and to be begging somebody to say, let Mr. Cummings come to the program.
Well, this is where you people, you're falling short. If let's assume for discussion purposes, Cummings is coming back. And those same names calling will not go away. Maybe it might be edified and you want to be in the inner cycle. And like D-Flo who just came. And then he telling some gathering and he put his hand, he took the microphone and said, you, Mr. Cummings, you will never be president here. You're wasting your time. You're in the inner cycle. What would be your reaction?
But I will not even dignify because the fact of the matter, listen, me tell you something.
Already, so how sure are we that?
No, I'm telling you because I know that he's already on the other side. It's just like me going on I don't do it, to be fair. I never go on the pages and make some comments that what they always do. I don't do it. I just look at it. If I don't want you to know, I don't tap it. But let me tell you, these people will still be in a cycle. But the way we're talking now, some of them will change their way of doing things the next election. Because we got to tell them that they made a mistake and they got to change their ways. So maybe the next election, they could change their behavior.
Support the next
what you say? No, they will change. They will change. Don't say they will change. They know because the mistake they made, they understand that they can't make that mistake twice. You know.
It's not a mistake.
Mr. So let me bring the general to a point here. General, once again, good evening. I've been quiet for a while, and every time I intend to get involved, I like the conversation right now because it's giving me some real insight of what Liberian politics, what I thought it would be, and I think it is what I believe it is. But I just want to point something to you here. This is Liberian Public Radio, the platform here where we do not try to sanction people as much as we can. You spoke earlier and made some statement, and it came back and you claimed that those were your view and you are entitled to it. But yet, when D-Flow, I don't know who D-Flow is, but when he made his own statement, his own view, express his own view, which you also entitled, you call it foolishness. So where do you stand in terms of people expressing themselves freely, even if you don't agree with them?
Yes, but D-Flow was addressing me, although you're making a statement and telling me, you're going to make the statement and say this is what Mr. Cummings' fault, but he make the say you can go come again with be him. He put on his partisan cap.
You're not coming.
You know what I'm saying? Wait now, he put on a partisan cap. So I just tried to made a statement and left. I said everything he spoke, he went through that nonsense. I said nonsense is not an insult. You know, he makes sense in nonsense.
Well, let me just tell you this. I am very uncomfortable with language like this, especially.
Okay, I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Think about that, General.
I'm sorry.
English. You're very educated. You know how to express yourself without going down using English language that perhaps most people would not be comfortable. I just thought I'd point that out. But overall, I think the explanation you're giving, some of us who thought perhaps ANC should have done X, Y, and Z, it's really an eye opener. You are now faulting certain group. You're not coming up point blank to fault certain group, but yet still you try to distance yourself in terms of the way people were behaving and what have you. I think it is also interesting that Liberian politics, if Honorable Comey was to come back, it would be a very interesting dynamic, because I'm not too sure if he's going to come back. If he's going to come in being naive in terms of Liberian politics. I think his eyes are open clearly, and I think he will now look at things and like I explained to him, trust but verify. I think this is something that Honorable Comey hopefully will try to do. But I still hold my view that Honorable Comey should have accepted, or whatever it was. I think when he first started, he should have just recognized, I'm going to go second to Ambassador Bakai. I think that's the opportunity greatly missed, my view as well.
Okay, I respect your view, but you should understand he was in another party, so he can't just walk to Mr. Bwaka and say, Mr. Bwaka, how are you? I want to be vice president to you. He came from another party. The same way Mr. Bwaka went to Mr. Kuhn and talked to Kuhn, I think they should have a conversation. It was up to Mr. Kuhn, Mr. Bwaka to have that conversation. But you can't. We need to stop. We can suggest. But why should Mr. Kuhn be regretting? Oh, because maybe I don't want to be vice president. No. It's up to him. And Mr. Bwaka, how do you know that Mr. Bwaka actually wanted Mr. Cummings to be his VP? Exactly. We were just singing the song around here. So let us let the thing. Mr. Cummings from another party. He can't just leave his party and walk to Mr. Bwaka and say, because Prince Johnson did it, look, and with no signing document. No, man, we can't do that. I can't do it.
But if you come with that kind of line, it is unacceptable. Because why? We saw CPP. They were all in group together. It was not because everyone, CPP comprised of ANC, Unity Party, and the other two parties, Liberty Party, and everybody else. But I believe when they came together and put that document together, they were coming in order for Liberians to pin their hopes and aspiration on the CPP, and then they blunder on that because of greed. So I'm saying to you, this is something that I felt really, really hurt on, because I felt that with these people together, nothing could have stopped them. Okay, so for you not to say that, come here and say, if you've seen different party, why will he come out and call himself CPP?
Okay, Mr. I think Mr. So I will have to. No, Mr. So, I have to answer. I have to answer Mr. Tu.
before you answer,
I gotta reply. I gotta
yeah,
make a
before you
statement
answer,
on that.
let me answer here because he gets short memory.
Thank
This
you.
guy is he's very ridiculous. This is the guy who was blowing the trumpet here. Come and go on a breaker. Come and go on a breaker. When that document came out, they want Edmonds George and I, we called this guy out here. Samson told he was praise worshiping, singing his song for a son who was one of those who led to the destruction. And we saw that document say this document was a recipe to kill. And then for him to come back here to come say that, what are you talking about?
Let Bonnie finish. I will go to Samson too on that issue.
I mean, you bring it on, bring it on. Where we are,
Mr. Toe.
What can you do to me? 1%.
Mr. Toe.
You got that.
Mr. Toe.
You guys should
Mr. Toe.
to me.
Mr. Toe.
Let Ambassador, Honorable Kumi go on Ambassador Waka and become
the honor.
We're not going to face it. What we're facing.
Mr. Toe. Listen, man. Listen, Mr. Toe. You know, I respect this network, but sometimes the issue you raise, the same document you talk about, I saw it. I read it.
He's the only person that
so
respected view.
In that document, they have 4 parties. There's nowhere in that document tells you that I should go to Mr. Cummings and tell Mr. Cummings, my man, you got to go to Mr. Boaka. The first part of it, that the 4 leaders meet and choose a leader. If one person say no, it cancel. Then the second one is VPS, which was not binding, but it will be used at the primary, if just for record's sake. And the last one is to go to the primary, and whoever wins that primary will select their vice president. They don't have to be the standard bearer of any party, but it will come from another party. People in the CPP started to do the homework, my man. Y'all go together, you and Mr. Boaka. Y'all go together. Mr. Cummings coming from another place. He came in the CPP. He want to be standard bearer. Mr. Boaka want to be standard bearer. Mr. Toe, you on a reputable network. Who ran away? Who left the CPP? Why the journalists need to speak the truth? Who left the CPP? For what reason Mr. Boaka left? The last time I remember, he said Mr. Cummings did not show up to meeting. Mr. Cummings came to meeting, so I left. And they were the biggest party. They cannot challenge Mr. Cummings in the CPP. Go to the program. Mr. Cummings will not run to Mr. Boaka, and nobody ever ran for VP in their life. Mr. Cummings will not go to Mr. Boaka. But if Mr. Cummings were going to lose in that convention, which Mr. Boaka was still popular, and then Mr. Boaka said, I want for Mr. Cummings to go, and Mr. Cummings said no, we will say, no, Mr. Cummings, we win the TL. So let's go to the process. Liberian people lost shortcut because UP felt they are the biggest party, the oldest party in Liberia, and they had everything that when they go, once they can get in the second round, they will win it because people are frustrated with George Weah, and they took their advantage and they did it. Can't talk about Mr. Cummings. He was supposed to this. Mr. Cummings' belief is his belief. People try to work it up. Nobody can tell you. You, Mr. Toe, you can't tell me Mr. Boaka ever asked one day. Mr. Boaka went to Mr. Kun. Whether Prince Johnson was negotiating, Mr. Boaka drove to Nima Kante to Kun and say, I need Kun. Mr. Cummings, yes, wanted Kun, but Mr. Kun said, I see Mr. Boaka here. I think that the other side will be our county star.
Yeah,
but Kun walked to Mr. Boaka. Stop it, man. Stop it, Mr. Toe.
I cannot support Mr. Toe on this one for sure. Because to be honest with you, Mr. Yue at the time was really in charge of the CPP. When I mean in charge, he was the connector for them because he decided to go neutral and allow Mr. Cummings and Honorable Boaka to fight for the standard bearership of the CPP. And Mr. Cummings said he called Mr. Yue said he called Mr. Cummings and discussed with Mr. Cummings to go as VP. And that is what
rest my case. To say. You just took your own neck.
You guys
I got nothing to say for the rest of the night.
You guys were in a collaboration. You guys were in a CPP. And you guys were 4 leaders. One of you died, which was Councilor Bronsky. So it was between the 3 of you now, with Yombly at the time, but Yombly did not have time for that thing. So it was actually between the 3 of you guys. So Mr. Yue calling you to tell you, say, look, my man, I don't want nothing. I don't want this thing. All right. What the woman want is for you to go as VP.
Yes.
And
So which one you understand? The thing I just explained. Why you understand my statement here?
No, Mr. Keshen,
Now, why you no, don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Ambassador Barker should have gone directly.
But listen now, you wanna listen to Ure. Listen, Ure said I met Mr. Cummings. Did Ure ever told you that I went to Mr. Barker and said, Mr. Barker, I think it would be good for Mr. Cummings to go with you? What Mr. Ure said on Costa show that I went to Cummings and tell Cummings say, why you can't go with Mr. Barker? And Cummings told him, say, well, you already out here. And Cummings gave his excuse. But what you never heard from Mr. Ure, he never said, you know, I also went to Mr. Barker and said, Mr. Barker, I think you and Mr. Cummings, it would be good for you to come together. But we were only beating on Mr. Cummings that he should go. My man, y'all be fair here now.
Let me say this.
That's a stale mail, man. Y'all leave that thing. Y'all leave that thing. Mr. Ure is not Mr. Barker. Now, one thing else you run. So Mr. Toad said he rests against Mr. Ure. It's not Mr. Barker. Rest it because you know that one you can win it.
No. You got nothing to you, Mr. George and Mr. So. You got nothing on me. I win the case already.
You know the mastermind. They should have gotten into what CDC did. When CDC and NPP and the other guy tell us CDC make her position. It was just easier for the CPP then when there were 4 parties. It was good out of 4 to express their interest. What the other 2 should have done was to have an exclusive conversation. What can we do? If they all have an ultimate goal to get George.
Thank you.
That's what happened. You something to you for your hand there. You were
thank you.
Crumpet here. We carry, you guys got to talk the truth. And it would be bad. You're one of those. We even carried a program here with Ambassador Boyka when he was in Philadelphia. What did he say? Upon my return,
I will fix it.
I will fix it. Has that been fixed? So he is a statement. Who knows what Bernard Ure was doing? He's saying, oh, Bernard Ure. But I think what he should have done was to reach out. This is where he would have caught coming between the says to say, look, but Ambassador Boyka from what
you guys are not being sincere at all.
Where you
do you expect someone who served as a vice president?
That's not what we're saying. That's politics.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Politics. The man to go honor Kumi as a vice.
And you see trouble. And you see, my man. Don't mess up the network, man. Don't mess up the network. Nobody told you that Mr. Boyka should go honor Mr. Cummings. Don't do this, man.
If Kumi is coming, if Kumi gonna go with these people,
no.
Ambassador Boyka has already contact for Cummings, and then it's when Kumi country. First of all, I've said it here, and I'm saying it. Kumi
in trouble, yeah. Labra in trouble. Labra in trouble. Labra in trouble. Labra, we in a serious trouble.
We are. We're not going to let you steamroll us.
No.
We're not going to let you steamroll us.
Labra is in a real trouble. The educated people are very hard in understanding things, and they give our people false information.
Okay. Why is it that the people back home, you just told us, the people back home don't even believe you?
That's not the case. That's not
what is that?
Because people men like you, Samson, you take advantage of the ignorance of the Liberian people, that they will listen to you, and whatever you say, they follow you because of poverty or because of education or whatsoever. They don't even know. In fact, let me get you, Liberia don't know like you, Mr. Boyka, in America today. People in Liberia don't know. I was just talking. I said, but Mr. Boyka here. They said, no, Mr. Boyka not here. That's some of the information we're talking about. You will come and sit on a radio and talk about. I'm telling you. Only those who have the privilege of information. Yeah, I told someone that Mr. Boyka here, they said that's not true.
Mr. Boyka have left. Everybody in the country will not know.
The whole world know about Mr. Boyka is not in Liberia. Where are you coming from? With
he said the whole. Now you see, he said the whole world know, and you say the whole world know.
Look,
said the world don't know.
Jeremy,
Everybody
Okay,
knows
guys,
that Baka is out of
now.
Nigeria.
we
So
can't go like
every
this.
newspaper.
Hello.
Mr. Toll, Mr. Toll, Mr. Toll, that's all old news you trying to ring, and you still carrying around, you running with false information. It is not right, Mr. Toll. You choose a side, I choose a side. You won is good for you.
Okay, congratulations, Samson Toll. Thank you.
You congratulate yourself. I don't need to congratulate because I know which role you play for me to congratulate.
I said congratulations, Samson Toll.
That's why I say you congratulate yourself.
Yeah. Let's go to the line here. It's after 10 already said. Let me see who on the line here. Let's neutralize it. Let's get rid of it. Dr. Toto is still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Dr. Toto, what's a final statement or comment? We'll soon wrap up already after 10. It's already late.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I kind of enjoy the show. You know, the little a little bit quiet, but they kind of share the media app. When it comes to the CPP formation, there were a lot of error in the formation of the CDC that series that we do have. Everybody do have on the end, the way it ended, you know. So Boyka is not a precedent. That's all we have to do now. Just run and rush and then to make it.
That's it. Bring it all store and I help the situation.
But my concern to money, he says what is very interesting about 2029. He said he also registered in Bon County.
He's scared you, right?
I want to see when he look here. I think the area in Bon County, so they try to start there working to see what can be done for 2029.
What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm looking at the representative.
I don't want to work that way with you.
I appreciate you. And they got Bon County, they got Montserrat. You see, I was born in Maryland. I got people in Maryland, and I grew up in Montserrat. Bon County is where my wife coming from, and where she was born, that's where I did my voting or whatsoever. But it could be representative, it could be anything, but we will be 2029. We will be on there. So I don't want people to start. You got to do the work. You got to let the Liberian people understand. So if you're running for these things,
you think you might represent?
Oh, it's possible I could go to Maryland, and maybe I got to live there now because I got people there already. I got brothers there, and I have to spend my time there for them to know. Or it could be Monrovia, where I live in District 17. It could be District 16 and 15 in Lockingtown area, where I grew up again. And it could still also be District 8. I got in Jalatan, where I spend most of my time. So there are so many things that you can do there, but we got to be on the ground now to educate, to talk to our people. We got to understand, they got to know the rule. Maybe 2029 will be on the issue, but this time it was not an issue, so people voted based on who they like and who they want to see. It will be the most toughest election. Nobody should overlook it in 2029. So anybody coming in there will be tough.
Let me just get over with the line, then we can wrap up it. 980 number, either go ahead, Victor.
Yeah, Mr. So, good evening, and thanks for having Mr. Keshen on. I have a question for him. Mr. Keshen, thanks for joining in.
Thank you.
My question here is, if you were to advise Mr. Cummings to come back in 2029, will you advise him to heavily focus on media public relations? Because if you look at our election trend, between 2005 to 2011, President Selly used Truth FM and few other media institutions. President Weah used Kings FM, Power FM, and Love FM 105. In this 2023, Ambassador Barker leaned towards Spoon Network, which comprises of 3 media institutions. I think that those 3 institutions help to sell the Unity Party messages out there to the people. Will you advise Mr. Cummings to follow similar trends in order to push his candidacy for 2029 if he were to come back, whether in collaboration with a political party or not? That's my question for the night. Thank you.
Yeah, the media is very important, And I think that is what we're lacking, because Mr. Cummings visited almost all the radio stations. He came on Spoon, he went on True FM, he went to Power FM, all these different stations he went. But yes, we need more people on the radio. You see, the political leader is just a one man. When he speak, the surrogates and people who going to break down his messages and send it out there need to go out there and speak. And then we need it, but we got to be on all the radio. Or they got a lot of radio station in Liberia. We need to use it. But this is what Mr. Cummings believe. Opening a radio station for himself is like, but they got other radio we could pay. And you know, people start charging heavy. Just for you to go there, they will give you got to spend $200, $400. And Bilete gave us his True FM, and that's the one we're using for the last 2-3 months that we use it for, which is help. But other people will, maybe they don't want to go there because they have problem with Bilete. But Mr. Cummings visited all the stations, but we actually need to send the message out. The one in Basso, Nimba, all the small radio stations, we need to get people out there to spread the message of Mr. Cummings, and not just to be on radio. And we got another group that will go and explain and tell them who Cummings is. And you got to also, when somebody come over a negative ad, you should a negative response. You got to get people that will respond and let the people know. And sometimes the people want to hear from the candidates, because if I say this makes you a criminal, if you don't go and tell the people you're not a criminal and I alone trying to defend you, they still don't want to believe it. Because in Liberia, people listen to the pastors and the leaders, but the leader got to speak out. Because you see, Mr. Cummings, he's coming from a place where I told you again, I said the last 17 years, the people saw UP and CDC. That's the two parties in their eyes. So coming as a new party, you got to fight. All the other party, they got to fight to beat UP or CDC.
So if you know all of these, why would you think that somebody you're not satisfied with the election result? Because what is key is what they put into action. They don't know him, they don't see him as a party, they know.
Okay, Mr. So I just told you something that nobody should fool you that nobody know Mr. Cummings in Liberia. Everybody know. When you ask them, they will tell you. When they tell you, they will call 3 candidates. Oh, George, we have Mr. Bwaka and Mr. Cummings. But there's somebody that would say, oh, I see Mr. Cummings to my area. I even see the Cummings people coming. They even bring T-shirt. Oh, Mr. Cummings, and I'm even running. But the man who will reach out, then the other one will get it in. I just told you that's my view. I don't have nothing on to say this is the evidence. Somebody stole this and some of this. But whatever they did it perfectly in the first round. And they kicked Mr. Cummings to the place that they wanted to put him. It's fine.
Do you believe they did something?
Yes. But I still trying to put my hands on it to know what they did.
In favor of Unity Party or what?
In favor of the two parties in the first round. You know, let me tell you something. CDC believe that going against Unity Party, they had a chance. And Unity Party know that when we go against CDC in the second round, it's ours, because Liberian people fed up with George Weah. So that's the two parties. They were looking at each other. So they told all the other party, you are nothing. Man, forget it, man. Say that the thing is between us.
Money, the vote didn't reflect that. So it would just be like it is why it is. We saw what was
okay. Now let me say this.
Yeah,
the two parties divided all the votes in the country, and 90% of the votes went to CDC and UP. You agree, eh?
That's what the result proved.
That's what the results say. 90%. But look at all the other elections. Go back to 2005, 11, 17. This one is just different.
This is 2023.
Yeah, 2023. Okay, it's different. Yeah, it's different.
I agree.
Okay, now, so you believe that people actually voted for Appiton?
Yes, I believe it.
Okay, that's your belief. Fine. We stay asking people. They're asking people in Liberia, people who voted for Appiton, can you please come out and show yourself, and we'll say can see nobody. No, Appiton got members.
Who does that? Who does that?
So you want to tell me the project voted for Appiton, they just voted for Appiton like that?
Let me say this.
You know that
we want to see.
The ANC people did not do a good job. Period. From your own statement, they didn't do a good job. Period. We can talk all, we can speculate. The ANC people from you.
And Mr. George. Yes, they never did a good job because of the pool washer. If they had a very good, robust pool washer and know what they're doing. But listen now, listen now. These are some of the things that they never did. I was not responsible for that, and I was not in that group to make sure we look for pool washer. It's something I used to talk about every day myself. So if you get pool washer entering or pooling center 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and most of them were first time going to wash the pool and whatsoever, that means they failed. They never did their work. So whatever going to happen in that place there, you will not even see it. You will not even see it. You think Dylan already going around with the blue plastic bag with everything in it? You believe that?
Okay, Keto, go ahead quickly before we go.
So
well, my view, that's my belief.
I want to address a couple of things here. I think if you watch prior to the election, if you watch some of the opinion pool coming from around the country, you understand why ANC performed the way they performed, because a lot of the opinion pool was centered around President Weah and kind of just President elect. So almost rather when there was an opinion pool like down Waterside, certain area, you hear people be like, maybe one person would say that is enough for me. The rest would be either President Weah or President Mabwaka. So it spoke to where that I bring people. I come to a place where I would say almost like a two-party system in the country, and where a whole group of people decide to go with.
I don't want to something like these what people that be doing it, they not know any poll. The people just say that opinion poll, you will go to these places, you talk to people live issues that they are considering, you highlight options. Then you go open the phone line, 10% call. This is a break up band, we are home election.
So what I'm saying is so you see when we sit in America here, our idea about Liberia should be America. Like Keshen said, Liberian people do not vote based on issues. There's some attachment, relationship, all the kind of thing involved. So if the actual issue was being discussed in Liberia, that's a whole different ball.
So how will every issue? The very candidate themselves, they all bought. Why you all of you people are the problem. The very candidate themselves, when you talk about debate, there are some there who don't care. So they purposely created these scenarios to avoid it, so that they will get away with it. So that's the consequences of it.
I'll be honest with you. Whether you can have 10,000 debates between Joseph Nimambwaka and Zama Kumi and President Weah, the people's minds are made up. The people's mind, I don't care, like Keshen said, and I agree with him, I don't care what you say about President Weah, a die citizen will never change his mind from President Weah. A die UPS will never change his mind from President Bwaka. It will always be like that. But that's what I'm trying to get Keshen to understand about how Kumi performed the way he performed, because we saw that it was not going in his favor. But another thing Keshen said I want to push back on is President Weah is not popular. President Weah won the first round over 50%. The first round over 50%. And I keep hearing those that are rejecting. You know they didn't reject it. 2017, you won election.
So what happened? What happened this time around? You defending your own. So what happened this time around? Why he didn't get the one he got?
I'm coming. Give him 10 million. He won over 400,000 votes. This time around, he won.
You're talking about 2005, eh?
Very close to 800,000. Just to tell you that additional 400,000 people approved of him. So I'm not going back and forth to say, oh, the election was fraudulent, the election didn't do. What I'm trying to tell you is President Weah is still a force to reckon with.
Additional 400,000.
Come 2029, it will be a whole different ballgame. And for people, I think the best thing for our country is for us to start to shrink our political institution now.
And I can tell you, let me tell you, I can tell you, 2029, it depends how he want to conduct himself. With this sort of talking point, I listen to Moluba Molu, all of those things. That's what I want to discuss. Yeah. And all of that. I mean, I had a video set here. So yes, if George Weah, it could be. But if he have some of those folks who are not honest and you think they're still going to get it, all people talk about, both people do this. You know, this whole conspiracy started a long time. And certain people felt that it was just their entitlement. Once other people win, then the election is not fair. But when they win, And we have conversation over and over and over. That's why when you're going into these processes, the technical thing can be done. If you have a political party and you don't make sure to have your pool watcher to be there, who cares? Who's going to wipe for you? You on your own. That's no excuse.
Mr. So, you said something here. Yeah. Even in the great United States, if you gave them the chance, they will steal the election.
Exactly.
Okay, so what we're trying to say is that in Liberia, I just said, you talk about the polls, but every poll, whether Mr. Cummings far off, they had Mr. Weah or Mr. Bwaka first, second, and again Mr. Cummings third. If that is what you want to say, that means everybody know the first three candidates. They know the first three candidates.
People
so
the other person picture look like this and this.
Yeah, and so they say other person picture looking at this. But what I'm trying to say, Mr. So, is that I still don't know what really went wrong. I don't have it in my hand. But when we listen to people, that's my view. Something happened. Something. Yes, we do our work because if we have a pool washer, then okay. So if my pool washer eyes were closed and they invest because they didn't get food to eat, they walk out of the place. What do you expect?
Let me tell you something. Abington was leading you because of poor washer.
Terry.
Yeah.
The first thing, Mr. So, Abington never voted in Liberia. Let me make you to understand. And I challenged him. He was not even in Liberia for the election. He came back right after all that news. He never even voted. You don't know that?
I understand, but I'm asking you. Are you saying because of your poor washer, poor attention, pay attention to the process, may Abington vote to be more?
I think Abington vote really affected everybody, Mr.
Yeah, people someday.
Abington vote affected Unity Party too. So it's not only.
If you go on Abington's page from Facebook page, there were things that he was doing that impacted people.
Yeah, exactly. Very well.
Yeah. Everybody not driven by publicity here, but he was doing it. I didn't tell you there was some. I have no reason whether that person that I wanted, but I say on this network here, this lady who is one of our followers, I was surprised. Well, actually wanted something I didn't know, but what is $10, $20, somebody that and we even heard that from the very Unity Party. They send people out. I mean, you expose these people to danger, you expose them to corruption, you expose them to dishonesty. They send them out and they say, go when you get there, we'll get. Who does that?
But Mr. So, what made President Weah concede? What made President Weah accept to concede? They did not listen to President Weah. President Weah said the pool washers were not bringing in the tally sheet. So the pool washer play a major role in your elections. And that was one of the reasons why Unity Party failed in the first round. And they were claiming victory when they never had pool washer, even to most of them.
They were all lying. Even the very spoon, they were lying. They never had it. They learned a lesson from there, from the first day. You need committed people, and they must be paid. Then when you go, we do this. You think that?
Mr. So, let me say this. I was saying it on this platform. The ANC folks did not run no campaign. Mr. So, you can remember when I was saying that, I said this people did not selling Mr. Cummings. They were not taking Mr. Cummings to the public. I was seeing it here because I saw it. And I said, the tips are there. I said, these people were not selling Mr. Cummings. I said, they needed to sell this man. But they were all sitting right in Morovia. They wouldn't want the money. So if you say something happened, I will agree with you. That's what happened. Because the people were on the ground. They did not run no campaign. They didn't sell Mr. Cummings. And someone yelled, no, you have to take the man to the community. You have to take the man to the people.
First of all,
they were running around, all waiting for money. There's a problem.
You see, they're mistaken for as far as 2017. In order to make a party viable, you need to have some good representations in the country. Put out a strong candidate. Who that candidate is campaigning with your standard bearer, but everybody will focus on presidency. Everybody. That's why you see CDC got the return a lot of people. But anyway, there's a good deal of lesson learned. But so liberal, You need to stop pushing this sort of awkward sound
Mr. So, I'm entitled to my view. I am not going to allow you to bamboozle me here tonight. It's not going to work. And I'm telling you right now, I'm entitled to my view, and I will say without any reservation whatsoever, if Kumi has listened to me and go on a President Buckeye, we will have a good outcome.
No.
Because you people refuse to listen to me.
That's your view.
Right? The liberal is on the floor. I'm saying this, and you guys refuse to listen to me.
That is why the only good journalist, all the only journalist on this show is Alfonso. Alfonso So is the only journalist on this show who asks questions, who is in the middle. Mr. To, you got a star. Mr. George got a star. I got a star. So, Mr. So, thank you. You are the only neutral man right now. No, Mr. George. George, you got a star. You support Mr. Cummings, and you always support Mr. Cummings, although you try to be in the middle. But now Mr. Tohu, he's supporting Mr. Baka. So Mr. So is the only man who I know. He's a journalist and he understands.
I am vindicated again.
When we put you here, he's still crying. We want to get Liberia. He's still crying. Then he come here and put me on one side. I beg you, man. I want you to
what I constantly and I persistently tell you this. You are entitled to your views, which I cannot argue that. But this statement you continue to make, and that's why I say, I don't know why you continue to make this statement. That's your thinking. But there's no part of the world you will see.
Thinking the liberal.
There's no part of the world you will go to see that somebody will go big for vice president post. And I continue to say it. This is the same Mounir was saying. There's the story of made up from you people like you and ran with it.
Hey, it working like bro, big time.
Because I asked every time I asked something to
let me play the video when you were talking about
Mr. So that thing was not what Mr. Cummings failed. That thing was not what Mr. Cummings failed. That thing you're talking, I listened to Mr. Keshen. He said, "Oh, that thing was what the people bought." No, that was not what Mr. Cummings failed. I have a different version. Mr. Cummings failed.
No, I never said. I want you to know, though. I want you to fix it, Brett. I never said it's because of that. Mr. Cummings failed. No.
It would be one of the factors. You said that the people bought it that Mr. Cummings should have gone with Ambassador Booker as VP. You said it.
Of course.
Yeah.
So that means that it was one of the factors leading to Mr. Cummings' failure.
Yes.
So I'm trying to say, no. In my opinion, the reason why Mr. Cummings was not successful, it was because of the CPP, the failure of the CPP ability to work. And the reason why the CPP failed, I blame it on Mr. Cummings and Ambassador Booker. I don't blame it on the surrogates and the pundits that were there. Mr. Cummings and Mr. Booker refused to agree to be one. If those two people have said, look, we are one, let's go, let Mr. Cummings come as VP or Mr. Booker come as standard bearer or Mr. Booker come as VP, once they agree.
Let me be truthful with you guys. The election is over now. Let me say this. Let me say this. Mr. Joyce, please. Let the liberals speak. This is what I'm going to, on a very serious and sincere note. Look, in anything you do, especially in a group setting, I believe before you join a group, you have to understand the group dynamic. Kumi is not somebody Johnny come yesterday. Kumi, I've said it before and I will say again, in all of the politicians that were going for the president, Kumi, in my mind, one of the best. He has a good leadership skill. And my argument has always been that he was not connected. Now, if Kumi is coming into the CPP, knowing Ambassador Baka has already served for vice president, you can put all your documents together. It means people are not advising Kumi correctly. You can put everything you want to put on the paper. Ambassador Baka were never going to come and go second to nobody. That was done from day one. So Ambassador Baka was hoping, I think, that Kumi's coming in as young as he, first of all, he will reference Ambassador Baka to say, okay, oh man, let's work together. because they work together, and because of them working together, they saw what happened with Dallas Dillon. So we all thought by
that was the move. That was the win right there.
Will be on top, and Kobe was going to be on number 2, and that was the big deal that was going to be done. But they decided to put the other kind of yama together. That's why y'all want me to consider and believe 3 of you.
Okay, Mr. Two, all the information you're giving is still, you don't have a proof. It's all this thing. I can give you another information here that you will never even believe. You will never believe it, and nobody will believe it. And I will keep it. No, I will not say it.
No.
I'm done with it. I will not tell you, because you're the next you tell me, say, prove it. Let me say this to you, Mr. So.
I can't say that.
Wait. Let me give you. No. I was not just an insider. When you ask questions, people gave you information. I never went to no meetings and sat there and listened to people. But I one of the person who used to harass Mr. Ability. When I hear small thing, I call Mr. Cummings. I want to hear from you what XYZ. You said something here, and it was looking nice, but then you changed it again. Mr. Bwaka, who was the most senior man, the man with the wisdom book. Mr. Cummings won. He tried before. Every one of them came into the CP. There was nobody who were the more powerful, because the UP were already going down when they came to the CPP. So everybody's sitting there. Mr. Cummings went to Mr. Bwaka and said, can you please support me and lift my hand up? Why Mr. Bwaka didn't tell Mr. Cummings, say, Alex, I want us to put a team together. I want you to go as my VP. Now, I said it before, I want to see Mr. Bwaka and Mr. Cummings together. But that's not my role. The public can suggest. But Mr. Bwaka supposed to be the one to tell Alex, listen, they've been knowing each other for long. He now go to Mr. Cummings' house in Atlanta. Mr. Cummings was one of his strong supporters from a foundation and whatsoever. Alex, I want you to go as my vice president. Let's talk. Let you myself go in the room and talk. Mr. Bwaka, now who got the wisdom? Who's supposed to put Mr. Cummings on the thing? They asked Balu. Mr. Bwaka ever asked Mr. Cummings one day? He said, oh no, we talked that one day. But why we should be beating on Mr. Cummings? That Mr. Cummings should crawl on his knees and say, since I'm a new guy, can I go your VP? Do you know if Mr. Bwaka actually wanted Mr. Cummings? And another information again, that when I gave you, you would never believe it in your life, because you won't see proof. Somebody told Mr. Bwaka, I said, listen, meet Cummings and you'll put a team together. Mr. Bwaka drove from Monrovia to Jeremiah Kuhn to talk to Kuhn. Then Prince Johnson started doing it. They contact this and that, because they say, oh, but then if Mr. Bwaka, if Kuhn can go, Kuhn will be the next president. But Mr. Bwaka drove from Monrovia to Bass to Nimba to talk to Kuhn one-on-one. Why Mr. Bwaka didn't do the same to Mr. Cummings? Or we hold Mr. Cummings on a different standard because he ain't hold no public office yet. Oh, he never did this. Nobody said Mr. Bwaka should go as VP. But what we wanted from Mr. Bwaka, in this place, the president, the standard bearer, look for the candidate, look for VP. They didn't tell you, say, if people go look, the only people who want to go, who can go beg to be vice president, that's something they not see. To say, oh, my battle man, come here, I'm ready to go, because I'll be the next person. So let's stop it. Nowhere in radio, nowhere on radio land that Mr. Bwaka ever look at Cummings and say, let's go. Why won't beat Mr. Cummings up? Just stop it.
So do you agree that with the failure of the both parties agree, whether if Mr. Bwaka was able to go as senator, whether Mr. Bwaka was able to convince Mr. Cummings to go, just because they were not successful in getting that done, the CPP failed. And
why, Mr. Okay, can I ask you a question now? I know you asking me a question, but I will ask you. Who left the CPP?
Mr. Bwaka.
Why he left the CPP? Why he left the CPP?
The reason he left the CPP,
their conversation is not going to end. Let's forget it.
It's simply because the two of them could not agree that Mr.
No, according to record, I show you got I show you got the tip. Mr. Bwaka read a whole speech while he left. I know the network got a tip on that.
One-on-one.
Let me tell you, these are all politics.
Oh, so that politics Mr. Cummings or Mr. Bwaka were playing?
So I think
Mr. Cummings and Mr. Boga were playing.
That thing, okay, it's a stalemate. Let forget about that. We can't bring in time. We can't go back to time. A pass.
Our pastor, our man fool us.
Okay.
Look, I don't. You see, I said I don't want to even dwell on that issue because Terry to sit there to make that kind of statement, I just laughing, you know. So me, I don't really want to dwell on it.
Okay, guys.
You know, so
no, that's wrong. But from what I observed, I follow it from start to finish. The problem was the two people, Joseph Walker and Mr. Cummings. The two of them, they were the reason why the CCP did not work, and because of that, the two of them struggle in this election.
No,
even though Ambassador Walker won the election, but he did not win with a huge margin. Because if the CCP would have won,
the reason why I'm making fun of him because I think
but now
his
we're
point
talking a different
a little bit.
The reason you make that analogy, you don't want to hold your own responsible. When Costa, when Benayo Costa was telling the CCP apart. No. Because he continued to say the two of them. You know.
No, those two people would have agreed. Costa had nothing to say.
No, this is why you don't want to hold your own responsibility.
Had nothing to say. If those two people would have agreed, Costa would have had nothing to say.
No, Terry. This is why I say you people.
Okay, Terry, do you believe that Mr. Boakaku are going to Mr. Cummings and asking? You think you believe that?
I also believe that. That's why I said.
Okay. So do you want to believe that Mr. Cummings? So Mr. Cummings supposed to go to Mr. Boakaku and ask you, can I go as your VP? What Mr. Cummings will do?
Based on negotiation.
You just answered it. You answered the first one. You answered the first one. No. You answered the first one. You answered the first one. The man who is the standard bearer. The man who is the standard bearer look for VP. You agree that Mr. Boakaku was supposed to go.
Yeah,
Terry, let's be honest here.
You know that was sincere.
And I feel that I was in the position that I was in the proximity of the presidency. But this time I want to be, and you have not even gone there, but at least I was those steps away. Who should have initiated that conversation?
The person that should have initiated the conversation will be the one who wants to be. And I believe that conversation was initiated. That's what we said earlier on.
No.
Mr. Kishan, just give me a chance. Let me learn my thought. Then you can come in with your counter. When you see Joel today, that is the standard bearer to President Weah. It was on the basis.
No. Yeah, what happened? There was a straight deal. CDC made her position when they wanted that collaboration. CDC made her position. CDC was more powerful.
CDC were more powerful than NPP, so they make it clear.
2017, George Weah really never needed Joel Howard Taylor. George Weah never needed Joel Howard Taylor. Let's be honest here.
So
but when they came around to form that collaboration, CDC made her position clear. In the presidency, and that's how the vice president.
The VP position was negotiated. I don't understand when people.
No, it was never. No.
Okay, let's go back.
CDC told them straight up front that okay, two of y'all and they papi Talo and Joel. They did a quick thing. The man said, I want Joel because of NPP. We are said it straight. It's okay. I'm taking the standard bearer. You're going to decide. I'm carrying Joel, and I was it. Now in the CPP, if United Party felt that it was so strong, they were just going to come and say, listen, man, listen, I'm forming this thing here, and I want you guys to join me. There was nowhere in there to say I will head it. There was nowhere in there because everybody was falling apart.
Okay, guys.
Let me just put this in.
Not in a position to do that.
You just said that. Okay, then forget about Joel because I know it was a negotiated position. Whether for Jeremiah Kuhn, the same way how you went.
Why you say no?
Mr.
Ure is one of those who even destroyed this thing because they were using Costa to get this thing.
I agree. When the negotiation failed,
when he was raging inside,
they started to destroy it.
When you were president like your son.
But just how Prince Johnson negotiated. You think Prince Johnson went to Ambassador Boaka and Ambassador Boaka said, I want Jeremiah Kuhn? It was negotiated.
No,
that is what go on in that. It was
Terry, you're missing the
Mr.
mark.
Pajor.
Terry, man, don't make the people look different
Terry,
on this show.
stop
I
that.
beg you, man. Please
Okay,
stop
no
it, please,
Joseph
man.
Boakai.
Stop it, man.
Joseph Boakai went up to Nima.
So Joseph Boakai
I
was
you
the
know
one
what?
who spoke in
I
for
want to
Jeremiah
say
Kun.
something.
Is that what you trying to tell me?
I'm very
That
sorry.
it was
I
Joseph
will not
Boakai who
sing that
spoke
song
in
again.
for Jeremiah
I will
Kun
not
on
sing
what
that song
was
again.
the political agreement between Prince Johnson and Joseph Boakai for Jeremiah Kun to go as VP.
Oh, so you tell
To
no,
tell
no,
you,
let me ask you.
I'm trying
Terry,
to tell you guys
Terry.
that the VP slot in Liberia for two political parties to come together have
Terry.
always been negotiated.
No, Terry.
Terry, you see,
Terry, don't confuse.
you're
Don't
the
confuse us.
VP.
We're not confused, Terry. We're not confused here. Don't confuse us.
The
And we're
whole
not
thing
agree.
with the CPP, it was so easy out of 4 to express their interest. Those two who have gone in their own conference room to have this conversation and see the deal. And who
Thank
to
you.
have,
That's why I say you're a journalist, my man.
who to have used
You're
that?
one of the best journalists I know about. You're not Samson too.
Samson is Samson.
So you saying what you want here, right?
No, not that. Well, I mean, that's the truth. I'll say this.
The man speaking as a journalist and speaking
That is the
in the
truth.
middle. He's in the middle.
But
He
you-
representing the fourth estate.
But you're not referring to me as journalist.
He's telling you guys, Mr. So, that these negotiations were made, and Mr. Cummings said he cannot go
So
as
you were
VP
never
to
like
nobody.
Terry, stop.
That's not true. You see, now you misinterpreting Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings never said I would not. And Samson, when he said Alfonso, so interview Mr. Cummings on the same platform and ask Mr. Cummings the question, that same question there.
The question was
So Mr. Cummings never said I would never go as VP.
Let it play out. But what we were saying, this guy here who gave a Liberty Party that broke into pieces and seeking political refuge, he was blowing the trumpet here of different things completely. Now, Terry, beware. He campaigning for Fanatic Kofana. He feeling with Joseph Boyka.
Yeah.
He feeling with Fanatic. He feeling with Joseph Boyka. Fanatic Kofa, who stole money, who was a convicted felon as well, and took that money according
He's
to
served his
liberal.
time. He's done with that.
No.
His time is done. Don't bring it up.
According
It
to-
has nothing to do with
Hold on. You know where I'm coming from. Now, why you want this guy?
on Fanatic Kofa. 2
Stop
hours
it, too.
show on Monday on Fanatic
No.
Kofa. None of
You
you
know
will
what
be
you
invited.
know what I meant? You know what I meant? The money he took, he lied to the American government that he was building road. You know,
And building schools.
you were building school. Liberal, am I lying? I'm gonna play those recording right now. Or I'm gonna put it.
And at Liberty Party, they use that money on.
Yeah, but here's the thing here, Mr. Soul.
Wow.
Samson told you have to stop this. You have to stop it. You can't be here defending people who are done wrong because they are your
Mr.
friends.
So. Wow.
It's not Mr. Soul. That's just absolutely wrong. You can't be defending people because they are your friend and you want it into a position of trust. It's just absolutely wrong.
Man, it's dangerous to the
It's
politics
dangerous.
of
But
Nigeria.
here's the thing. Yes,
That is why I admire George when George is analyzing, not because he's supporting Mr. Cummings, but George always stay in the middle and take off his partisan. But you, Mr. So, especially Mr. So, Mr. So, no, you're on here. You in the middle. No, you're in the middle, but Mr. So, when he said Samson too. Samson told from day one, you were blowing the trumpet on the show about your Joseph Boakai, how you USA Liberty Party, you this and that, you know, anyway, but I love you, stay, you the liberal, but the best journalist here, that Alfonso.
I said, one of my coming and they say, hey, then Mr. Trump, man, you coming confused that fanatic.
And Terry, let me tell you, this is the advice I got for you.
What kind of man that fanatic? You now go to if you with all Boyka, he can't wear a Boyka man get a speaker. You say, oh, you don't know him. You always see him.
Terry, let me advise you people.
Okay, guys.
If you Unity Party folks sit down there and CDC become the speaker, all your program will be obstructed by CDC.
No, they're not true. They're not true. They're not true. That's not true.
Santo, I'm speaking.
I agree with you.
You are not member of CDC. You are not member of CDC.
I agree with you 100%.
That man that's sedition. Something told is sedition. You don't know.
People who are connected to the Labour Party, if you both sit down there and allow CDC to be the speaker, You are doomed to fail.
It's on her way, whether we like it or not, because with Moluba today, they're taking Thomas Fala. This is why. This is my first time to see political party taking a decision. And that's what they're supposed to be doing. People are so afraid to the extent that's why they don't win. And I think here they can make their position crystal clear. Even he as a party that come and say the two of all contesting for Sando County, the party that can come and say, Lord, we're carrying terror, we're not carrying a function, and they will not support you. This is why.
So CDC is saying that they're going to support Thomas and what he said, Thomas.
No, financial.
Yeah, they say they're going to support their own.
Yeah.
So they got 25.
Yeah.
They got
next strategy. They would push Thomas Fala as a deputy speaker.
Yes. No. I think this woman getting in a race too. I think she will get a little chance because they will think that she woman. They need some female. What needs bricks, Emma Bricks.
Is she caucus? So the CDC?
No, yeah. But I think CDC. She crossing over to CDC to be one of the voters to make it 26. If they so then they will support her as the deputy speaker.
Then that's where the deal will go. But I can for sure tell you, the way CDC model, by the way they came up with that position, and I'm sure the president have already talked to them. Look, gentlemen, we need to, and that's what makes party to survive. Because if you are not represented in parliament in both, then your party needs not.
You know. And so to be that's the fact. Imagine your party don't even have the vote, but because you think you can bribe, you won't be speaker. You know that's the thing I say on liberal politics. If CDC got a vote and they say they wanted to get the ticket.
Let me ask you, ANC get somebody in the house?
They got only six. They got only six.
No, money just say they only that's six. That's a whole.
What about in the Senate?
No, they got six. They got six. They even in the Senate. In the Senate, I know about 11 votes that can go to what her name and Yombly, but you still have to negotiate with the other people because you need at least 16.
Yes.
So you need 16.
In the Senate, don't fly independent.
Still with Unity Party.
Unity Party.
Yeah, but we counter it. I was saying the guy about 11 votes that they can rely on if they agree, but they got to negotiate with other people.
Be the pro tem. Flanty Kofa will be the speaker.
Who will be the pro tem? Who will be the pro tem?
Senator from Brambasa County.
Yeah, the guy on name. But what I'm trying to say, I said you still have to negotiate with the other senators.
We're finishing winning it.
Amen. Two now. Two. I don't want you to just say Flanty Kofa. You know why I don't trust until I can see it happening. You know why I don't trust these people?
Collins.
You got independent voters in our place there. They more than CDC, the independent voters alone.
Before Keshen.
Yeah.
All day you were with this silent. What happened to your silent voter then?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I said, don't talk about silent again, my brother. Silent are the people there. Listen, the Labrador silent. The Labrador silent voters that they put who working in government. They say, me, I'm talking not to you. I'm a party over there. That they are the real silent. And you know, we look.
That guy, do you see no more silent voter, right?
No more silent voters. The silent voters, they think different. That they put who working in government, but they get a party, they won't talk. That how they tell the silent voter. And you know, look, I tell you what I know in Labrador today. What I know in Labrador today is something different. I can't put my neck. You got to do the work in Labrador. You got to go there. You got to do the work. No, but listen, George. We all said it, but people that were sending you pictures, you see them talking to this person. No, they were just taking notes. They were just, what your name? Something to I read my name. I go. But when you go to the place, they say, oh, the last time I saw your ANC people here, the children came here and they took our names down and nobody show up again. We know who running for. They say they were going to come back. They ain't come back. You see? So they send us pictures and you call one or two persons. Somebody called and say, oh, my man, I'm watching you from Maryland. That only 2-3 persons see you in Maryland. Yeah. And you say, oh, my man, they put you in Maryland. That 2 persons saw you. The other person, it didn't get phone at it. Then you get on radio and then you start talking. It's late. The time you talk, when you want to convince people, like, bro, they got to see your face every day.
But money,
you got to go there, come back, go there.
Morning, I was thinking, not even in Liberia. Politics is about you in contact with the people everywhere. They don't go there, they don't know you. And that was some of the issues about racing. That you're not putting the man out there. Because the more people talk about your money, someone will start paying attention to you.
That's the fact.
That's it.
125 of a seat from
yeah, CDC 125.
CDC got 25 representatives. But I think you check the independents.
But you got 73 of them.
Yeah. 73. Yeah, check the independents. Check the independents.
You got 53 seats there. So why would Terry then sit down there and give it to CGC? That's
what we're not going to do.
So no, but listen,
I'm going to follow Labor on this one.
But listen, and if CDC get 25, look at the independent. The independents, I think they got highest, they got more.
Yeah,
so if somebody come from that independent and say they want to challenge too, and I will take all the independent people and put them one side, CDC can get it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. No, I'm talking about the speaker. The speaker.
53 votes.
The lower house.
The speaker. So Funati Kofa looking at his 25, and then he feel that he can jump into the independent people.
15
so
more, maybe 15
yeah,
more.
he need 15 more. So they might get another independent person who want
calculator. You must sit on Monday. You do your calculator when I finish telling you about Funati Kofa and the good thing that he can do and good thing that he has done. All of the legislation that he has passed to help the Liberian people. When I finish telling you on Monday how he was the main person who sponsored something that is taboo in Liberia, he sponsored so that women will not suffer anymore. When I finish explaining on Monday,
thank you so much.
But then why you went against CDC?
Something to. Why you
support them? What all those huge
what talking about? Huh?
What you talking about? That's
wait till Monday.
And listen. So you're not supporting your sister, Nyomli? What kind of man is this?
No, but Nyomli,
no, he's supporting Nyomli.
Senate Pro Tem. Kofa, that's the representative speaker. They're two different things.
Let me tell you. I'm speaking from a friendship point of view. For me, I'm speaking from a political point of view. I'm speaking from a political point of view.
You know what the people say? They say Funati Kofa gave 40,000 in one car. I hope something to him get 40,000 in one car too.
Yeah. No, but I have friend. No, Monica, you know what happened? He wanted me to
That's one of the things. They lie so much.
No, Mr. So let me tell because let me let the cat out of the bed. Something to you will not talk again. Let me let the cat out of the bed because
but you know what? Let me be honest with you. You know who's gonna win it? You know who will win the speakership?
No.
Okay, Ability.
I didn't expect you to say nothing less than that.
No. Listen, what the guy named?
So how will Ability winning that?
Terry.
Good.
Terry,
Good.
I said before the election. If you go to our table, I said it before. I said Ability win that seat in Nima, he will become speaker. I said it the last time. Watch it. And Samson told, let me say this.
Mr. So, the show is over.
No. Hold on.
We got to go.
Hold on.
But so why Samson running away with that for?
You know what I'm going to say. Let me tell you this. Politically, I'm saying Kerry then should not allow him to happen. Personally, I don't know Funati Kofa, but I know Funati Kofa relatives. They are very good friends of mine. But politically, to be correct, you cannot be a ruling party and you take the defeated party to make them speaker if they don't win it, because that will obstruct your agenda. That will obstruct your agenda because the speaker is where issue generate from. So if you have someone opposing
you people are mistaken.
That's the politics.
You remember? You don't forget now. 20 of the representative already endorsed Ability. 20. They got some few cities. They got 2 or 3 seditions that did that, and they get independent. I'm trying to be careful because you get only Funati Kofa Ability so far. Talking about these things. Rachel Kuhn is from the the UP, but UP don't really have the vote in that house to say they got enough member. And Rachel Kuhn voted along with Joe. We are throughout too. He from District 11. Don't mind Rachel Kuhn. He from District 11. He all of them used to vote along with George Weah. And UP got first and all his name were on that list when they were doing their own thing. They almost expelled him from the party. Now he acting. So you got two guys with money who actually looking for it.
So yeah, that's the other logical part here with those independents. If they want to punish CDC for whatever reason politically, then that's where they're going to give their votability.
Ability, yes, yeah.
That's where it's going to be a game changer.
But Ability got 20 already that endorsing. Mr. and Funanti Kofa looking at, well, since we already got 25, but I would tell you that 25, they're not all going to Funanti Kofa.
Okay,
there are people already in the CDC representative. They're not going to say it's all secret ballots. So you're not even going to know who that they seen the day with the deputy before. They got the same UP people voted for Funanti Kofa. The guy from Lufa County. I think there was a guy who voted yes, who broke it. Yes, thank you. So Bilete doing his homework too. Yeah.
The Dinya was secret ballot. People for you when they go there and say, oh my man.
They say they go to say my man, they know who. So they need to start voting.
So thank you very much for the show. And I hope you guys will tune in on Monday.
Let me warn you tonight. Do not come by again and talk about Funati business because then I will let it out already there. Do not come by and talk about Funati tonight.
But anyway, Mr. So,
I will call you, my patron. I will call you.
Mr. So, thank you very much. Keep up the professionalism. You are the only journalist, and then I get Georgie, then I get, but Mr. To, just remain as a talk show host and support Mr. Boaka. I beg you. Let Mr. So do all the talking and stay in the middle.
So which one we in? It's December, right?
December.
Wait for now to February. You're going to see this man. The man said he's unstable, unbalanced. He's involved. So when you not see a way from Rebecca, you will see here. You will flip. So don't trust. That one making liberal. When you wake up, when outside he lay, that is good for you. When you get bad drink, you done.
To my ANC and C people, y'all listen to me. I know you're getting very much. I get first, I beg you. But we got to take all the. We can't be pushing it on the rock. If we're coming back, we got to do it different way. I want to tell you, we got to do it different way. Yeah.
I know some people get.
Oh yes, I'm gonna say I prepare to do it different way. So you know me, man. I know how to dance in the mud and come out of the mud. I quit to apologize to people. That is why the people left my business. But I said 2029 we'll be robbing in it and we'll be there. So
we got to call it what is it? Because the people did not do a good job. We can't spare them because that is the same thing that continue to destroy people. When people do bad things, we have to call them. And for me,
Emma Joy came out of the share today. I call the people and the people said, "Oh, really? So you used to be calling after program? You can go.
He can call after program. You go to at least we can have it, but something to can have it."
Something about the American dance.
No. I mean, what I said, yeah, but you know, you got friends.
They are petition me the next time the next day will suspend on it.
But you know, the other time he was supporting George Weah, eh?
Who that liberal?
Liberal, you know, enjoy enemies to talk about George Weah.
Support everybody. When you go there, you see your way, you go there.
The men supporter come and say, "Oh, when you had an interview, the men supporter come the next day."
Oh yeah.
For 2 days.
You cannot relax. Money.
For 2 days, the men supporter come.
When Samson to tell you good morning, you must look outside.
Samson is a dangerous man.
When Samson to tell you morning, you must look outside to make sure they are broken.
Enjoy yourself.
One fine day, I'll put a program here. All the recording I get for him,
those are all liquor talk. They're all liquor talk. Hey.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much. I enjoyed the show, and anytime, I love the conversation of this platform. You guys are honest, and everybody speak their mind. And for those of you, yes, I'm sorry for the nonsense, the word nonsense that I use. I understand that, but yeah.
Mr. So, your CEO on the platform. That language we don't use, please.
Come on, man.
But nonsense mean no sense, right?
No. You're gonna put the line.
Somebody using nonsense. You want to put your hair in somebody's mouth. We want.
Yeah. So, but
Now,
Mr.
he ain't
So,
paying people more. The people he ain't paying them more. That was
I know go.
right.
I know go, Mr. So, but
I hear what's
let me
more.
ask you this
Who
question.
the swallow is that? You're good, man. You're baba.
You know,
All right, guys.
I'm constantly telling you, no more dancing on the network yet. Thank you so much, money. Okay, all right, guys. Sometimes it just get crazy on the network, but it is what it is. And I think part of that is our politicians' lack of political tolerance. Somebody who have initiated that, and I personally believe, being the older or wise adult, he should have initiated that conversation. And coming to had a responsibility. Sometimes you got to play softball in politics in order to see your way, because Boyka can't go for 2019. He will not go. I think he just want to reach the mark to set his political, line, and he's be done with it. But that's what happens when you have people around you who do not advise, and everything should be yes, yes. Ultimately, that's where you end up. So something happened to nothing happened to election. The people are just behind him because they wanted money and they ate the money. That's it. Louis Brown, they are not honest people. They created, and that's why people tested his leadership. A day to your program, such a program, 70,000 or 75, whatever thousand, and nobody will reprimand it. How can you be leader? So you talk about job, you will do the same thing, because with people and then ability that will come and say, oh, there are people money that their own money. So is that how they want to lead? So he himself, his own alligator that he raised on himself, they are the same alligator that took him down the pit. That's it. Mr. D. Bashar, good morning. Thank you so much for chipping in. Sometimes it get crazy here. We have the liberal here who sometimes is a big distraction to this network, but we got to be here to put it in check. Guys, have a pleasant weekend, and be safe. And thank you so much for being part of today's program. Bye-bye.